put up a good fight. You know what I call this move fight? This is doing it. Now, I've watched. For some reason, I assume that. I remember when IYD. Remember that happened. The flex. I don't. Yeah. Sorry, you can't do anything. Every time I see that, punish. Trying to set X long enough that vectors get done, have their pop up, but I don't tracks their top is when it's basically touched. Got seats after that. About 40. No rush. Late game. Bonus fear, bonus. The Korea on. Now, have the Chrono at 20. Might start a team fight without the Chrono. That's a bad. Where he is. Find errors. Understand? And let's see. Out of him. Times to such a wide scale. That's just not for a team. Not gets hit by an arrow, but gets up to the low ground. And okay, not big. But it's not a team. So after that, happy about that. This has buyback here. Also, because you can hold the fact that you are going to have one lane of rats, but once again, straight into the towers after the swap, a nice swap. Now, never mind, it wasn't even a swap. Time lapse. Matter. Our defense on fortifies out. Actually, got racks, but going for blush. Over the jugular. Back. Very interesting. Has the chrono. He can literally just chrono and hit the chrono if he go for the fight. Nothing in.
Gabby will pop the BKB and now gets a great chrono off onto two heroes. They swap out, or rather time lapse out this the Spectre, but it won't matter. Gabby still going, trying to find Sonic Wave is there. Tims, he is silenced up and may just die to the Orchid, and does. But they get Eris in the end. Abat's very low. Armel breaks him. He will Manta. Go back in after the leader. Still trying, but will ultimately die to Gabby. Now Jamesy does at least kill off Armel, but he has to watch as his teammates die. And KP will jump in straight back after him with the simulate stun. And that's it. TNC. Nice 2-0 victory for them to finish off their night, John. And you know what? You've got to give props to Cignal Ultra. Obviously we made it very clear that we didn't like the draft at all, but they made the game a lot closer than we would have expected.
Yeah,
with this draft,
they tried to work it out. That reveal with Eris was pretty nice. You know, the combinations that it did afford was pretty solid. It's just it never really kicked off. They just completely ignored a bot. They always focused on Eris first. Jamesy's impact was also kind of off. Like the Orchid timing was just not right. Armel was ready with the Shadow Blade, kind of just ran away, and it just didn't line up. But Really well put out fight from Cignal. There were some shining moments there, not quite enough. TNC though, they did get to pick up the Gabby faces Void. They got the Enchantress here for Whitemon. They got all their comfort heroes basically, and if you let TNC draft like they want, they do kind of dominate like this.
I agree. With that, John, we do move on to our final series of the night. Well, of course, we are going to have the previous BTS Pro Series winners, Motivate.Trust. They're going to be up, and it looks like they are up against Adroit, who have been looking very strong over the past couple days. So, see which one of these teams can pull off the victory over each other. It is going to be roughly a 10-minute break, I believe. And it's MLP Dota and John X Fire. We'll see you all again very, very soon for that fourth series of the night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for the final game of the day, and it's going to be between Motivate.Trust and Adroit. And when I said final game, I meant final series of the day. There are 2 games left between these two, though. It's MLP Dota and John X Fire. John, welcome back, sir. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, Mike. It's gonna be a good one. MG.Trust against Adroit, the former champions, or the champions of the BTS Pro Series Season 3 here. Again, surprising run there, but they did play amazingly well. Up against Adroit, who have had a roster shakeup. The last time we've been watching these boys in our casts was from BTS Pro Series Season 2. That was a few months back now, right?
Yep.
They had a roster shuffle up afterwards. They weren't around for BTS Pro Series Season 3, so they haven't really played against Motivate.Trust too much. I'm looking at their match record. They played in ESL 1 Thailand against each other and the ESL Southeast Asia Championships. Both series, though, did go MG.Trust's way, but those were best of threes. Adroit took a game off, so there's some chance here that Adroit can force out a draw. We have seen Adroit kind of struggle with their drafting. They are still kind of trying to gel together. You can see MG.Trust did respect ban the core IO that MCY has been taking to heart, but they do manage to pick up this Enchantress that we have seen do a lot of work for a lot of teams now, and the Doom as well here for Adroit. Solid openings, strong heroes, flexibility on Doom, whether or not they want to run it mid or off. MG.Trust, Void Spirit starter, really flexible as well. We've seen MG.Trust run it on mid. We've seen Masaros play it. Heck, we've even seen it support, and they get the clockwork as well. So it's not really revealing just yet what they want to do with a Void Spirit. Still really open here for MG.Trust.
It certainly is.
It is Radiant's ban.
I do wonder where they are going to be headed. Of course, you were pointing out as well that Adroit, they definitely have been running some very unique drafts. That's for sure. I mean, just judging by their standing in the groups, I mean, most of the time it appears to be working. So, not obviously the series we saw yesterday, though, where it just did not work at all.
Yep.
But let's see what they get up to today. So far, everything is fairly standard with the Doom Enchantress. Not too surprising here. Must say, I do love seeing the Void Spirit out from Motivate.Trust, as Fearless does play a real mean Void Spirit. Always a pleasure to see him on this hero.
Yep.
Just what
Truly
you
is,
follow up with, though, right? Because you're into a Doom. It can be a bit tough for the Void Spirit when you are playing up against that Doom of all things.
Certainly is, and we've got to see what MG.Trust build around here. Now, I was just going to point out, I love the fact that every time I look at MG.Trust, I just see do not attempt recalibration. Because it's bugged out in their tags. So I just see that every time I try to look at the lineup. It's always nice to see. And they're going for something pretty funky here as well. They pull out that Skywrath Mage, which you mentioned was gaining popularity in other regions. You've got combinations here, right? Hookshot, Cogs, Mystic Flare is pretty solid.
Yep.
Remnant out, Mystic Flare, Silence is always nice to have. Enables MG.Trust to play aggressive. And it's really just down to spacing here for MG.Trust. If they can get the Sky at a good spot, trade hits early in the lane. Once you have at least one, maybe one or two value nulls, it's going to be hard for anyone to hold that lane and trade against this guy. So lots of potency there for MG.Trust and leaves it fairly open. That should be the Fearless Void Spirit, as you mentioned now, should be hammered in that role. I am curious about Adroit, though. They've left one key Masaros here, Mike. The Dad Bod Tide is still in the pool there for MG.Trust if they want it.
God knows he's probably going to take it as well, Masteros. He loves taking the Tide.
That he does.
I can't imagine him not taking the Tide if it's up and
Mhm.
available. It's just one of those heroes. It would probably mean a Skyrath Tide laning stage as well, which doesn't seem all too bad. Just kind of seems really annoying to have to play into. But now, though, with Adroit, they do make their third pickup going into the Bloodseeker. Motivate Trust will have to go into their fourth pickup now.
Yeah. That Bloodseeker here for Adroit is looking pretty nice in terms of controlling the Void Spirit. You've got the Rupture, you've got the Blood Riot. You can punish the Clockwork jumping in. You can kind of punish these rather squishy heroes. Clock and Sky aren't particularly tanky, neither is the Void Spirit.
Yep.
So the Bloodseeker should have a good time. What I am curious about is how Adroit lanes it. Is this going to be our MCY Tino hero? I think it is. I think they might be planning
Really?
to run that safe. Otherwise, they might go for Doom mid up against Void Spirit. That doesn't sound too bad. An offlane Bloodseeker in that case, and something else for MCY. I just reckon with how Adroit's been drafting, safe lane Bloodseeker's not too out of the norm, but we have seen that a couple of times, right? And it has kind of fallen flat in the core position, in that one position. So I don't know if Adroit will want to opt for it here.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea of it. Like, it kind of seems good, but then it seems really bad. Like,
Yep.
it could work in niche drafts, but I don't know. I reckon they just stick with the offlane Bloodseeker mid-Doom. It seems much more normal in the current meta. Question is, what do they give MCY? What does he want to play? What's it going to be, I guess? For now, Motivate Trust, their fourth pickup. They go into the Conquer. And now things get a little bit confusing as to what's going on with this laning stage for Motivate Trust, as they have two mid laners, theoretically three if you want to count the Skyrath. Where is this Void Spirit going? Where's the Conquer going?
I think it's going to be Masaros Void Spirit and the Fearless Kunkka. That's probably the best way to lane it, especially if you're expecting mid-Doom. Kunkka should have a good time trading with the Tidebringer. We have seen Masaros a couple of times in the Void Spirit, right? He does play a fantastic Void Spirit as well, although you tend to love the flashiness Fearless brings out, but they might have to swap it out here. Adroit now, they see that Kunkka, they notice that flexibility on hand, they're going to make a decision. They go with Monkey King.
Okay. All right.
It is Radiant's
It doesn't seem so bad.
No, it's not the monkey itself I'm wondering about, it's lanes, right? Like Doom, Bloodseeker, Monkey. Did they just draft all three cores already?
Yes.
So a triple melee core against Kunkka, that can be a bit dicey, mainly down to the fact that, you know, X is going to ruin you on one of these heroes, straight up. Like, so much value for the Kunkka to mark that Monkey King, going to be hard to escape. The Clockwork as well is going to keep you locked in a pretty good spot. These heroes aren't exactly the most mobile. Adroit's got to watch their spacing. Still, they have amazing team fight. Wukong's and Bloodright, that is pretty potent. And the Monkey's a pretty active hero, you know, in any position. So Adroit can play fast. We know their playstyle. At least in their previous iteration, they do like to play blazingly fast. And these are the heroes to get that done. So they've got a pace here to play with. We'll see how they close it out, though, as it is pretty open with how each hero lanes here.
All right, Adroit, final pickup. They could be running some kind of strange position 4, for all we know.
I mean, a Doom 4 is something we've seen before. Not so much now, but it's just so strange. You have Enchantress. It's just not the... What? So, I'm so confused.
It's a strange draft. All right, so they finish off with the Snapfire. Very flexible draft, for sure, with Adroit. Kind of reminding me of the same problem we had last game with
Yeah, yeah.
with the other draft, which is you just don't have real good team fight. In
Yeah.
fact, the only stun they have is Boundless Strike and Cookie.
Yep, that's it. There's a lot of pressure in the Enchantress and Doom to get a good creep out and kind of play around that stun. So a blink on Dooms can be key. I mean, there is some good synergy here. Bloodright, Wukongs, and Kisses coming out. It's just they have no hold.
Yeah.
If you had like even an Underlord there with a pit, I could kind of just. But
Okay.
this is a very tricky game to maximize your snap. If they can somehow do it, then props to them. That's going to be amazing. And
Who will enforce
what?
your
How
will
did that slide through till
upon
the end?
battlefield today?
Apparently it did. So Jackie going to get a free Drow Ranger for himself. They do have the gap close with the Monkey King, but it's not the greatest gap close, right? Like you know, you just get gusted as soon as you jump in. So it's
Oh, wow. You seeing that sky set, Mike? That is sick. That is so
oh,
sick. What is
I
that?
let's
That's amazing.
show the viewers that is new. I haven't seen that one before. It could be because nobody ever plays Sky anymore.
That's
So
true.
that might be why, but that is a pretty cool one, I must admit.
Yeah.
What is that?
Is it the? Didn't he have another battle pass thing? I don't know. It doesn't look like it was
Did
from
he?
there. I forget. I can't keep it. Skyrat has like a million sets for some reason, right? It's so strange. He's got like 1,000 immortals as well. So I'm not sure, but it looks fancy, and it's going to be the Master as Void Spirit, so he doesn't get to play his Tide. I think you're fine with that though. Fearless on his Kunkka. Boomy Doom. So it's a core snap, by the way, Mike. Snapfire by Mac.
Okay.
Boomy Doom. So you have the Doom Enchantress support duo, which I guess you can make work. I do worry about the moment Adroit loses some early game momentum, the supports are just going to lag behind so hard. Like Doom might keep up in farm with Devour, but then you're just completely putting your Enchantress in the bin. And that's not really where it wants to be. You can still make plays. We've seen Whitemon do it. But your team has to be ready to follow up. So Adroit's team play is going to be tested here with their draft. There are ways to make it work. It's not a complete outdraft, but they have to be very precise with their movement and on point with their timings and spell uses here.
If they can get the early game secured, Adroit could definitely start just running over MG.Trust, but without that, it's just the same story as last game, really. You've got to get something going early on. Of course, Boomy could really take over, like, with these Dooms. You take Hoof Stomp from the Centaur. You could count that as your kind of team fight control. But it is a pos 4 Doom, so, you can't rely on that.
No. I like the swap of the Snapfire mid, though. So Mac should have a decent time now against the Kunkka. Fearless has to watch his spacing, has to watch that Scatter Blast. It is painful for any melee hero to go against a Snap, but Tidebringer is a pretty good, potent skill as well. So you have a bit of a back and forth there for Fearless and for Mac to kind of deal with.
See our Monkey King roaming through as a courier. They have spotted him out, so they're going to try and cut him off here. Q. Going to get the concussive shot, slow him down a bit. That's really going to be it, though. Nobody going to go any further. MCY, he's going to be all right. It should be a 2 for 2 on those bounty runes, and it is. Very even start. Looks like Boombell might even try to get in close to get a bit of extra damage out with that battery assault early on. Trying to maybe force the Jingu Mastery to be leveled up early. He's probably going to go Jingu Mastery anyway, but maybe wants the Boundless Strike to secure range creep. See, is MCY is running down towards maybe the mid lane. Is he going to take over mid against the Kunkka?
They could swap, but Max already having a rough time of it. I think they're just going to try to salvage it. MCY is going to be laning up, so this should be a little bit more manageable. As you mentioned, Jingu Mastery is killed up by MCY, but Fearless has a level advantage. He's got the Torrent now up as well, and now MCY is going to be copying the hard lane.
Yeah, I mean, you see bot and top lane swaps all the time, but there's a reason why you can't swap in the mid lane, and that's because the XP advantage already is going to be there. So,
Yeah, look
pretty
at
tough.
Magmite.
Yeah, Boombill
Force
just
back.
following him down. This is your core Snapfire, not getting anything done. He's just stuck at level 1, running back to the fountain. He even bought a salve out to try and heal himself up, but he's not even going to use it now. He's just going to make his way back to the fountain instead.
And speaking of, we haven't even talked about the side lanes. Like up top, Jackie's actually playing there with Q. So it's an offensive lane for our Drow Ranger, but it is paying off. We'll have to contend with Mac, but Mac and CML are stuck at 1. This is just going to be a hard lane for them to work out with. Now, the bot lane is a bit better. Masaros versus Nico is going fairly okay for Adroit. They've got 2 really beefy frontliners. Masaros is going to cop a harder time trying to trade. But that is it. Adroit's really sacrificing their other lanes with that kind of swap outs for this bot lane.
I think Masteros is going to be okay with it. We saw this last game as well with KP. Like, he can struggle a bit on the Void Spirit, but eventually you just catch up. You get an Aghanim Scepter, and you enjoy your game. I wonder if they're going to change the Aghanim Scepter on the Void Spirit in the new patch. Just seems a little too strong. Like
I don't reckon.
You don't think it's going to get changed?
The silence is pretty darn strong, but then you start looking at all the Ags. I think if you want something to be nerfed, Snap.
Oh,
is the biggest priority.
Snap's 100% getting nerfed. There's no way she's getting away without a nerf.
And, you know, speaking of that Snap, Mac is still stuck at 1. Jackie's at 3 and CML.
He's getting dived. Boombill may be going a bit too far here, but they do get the first blood gold. Q will be happy with that on your Skyrath. That means more null talismans for him. And while all this is happening, Jackie is freely farming up. He is uncontested on the Drow.
Yep, it's just going swimmingly well for MG.Trust. They don't mind these trades. You can see Max struggle. Like, we talk about Scatter Blast being ridiculous, but against a range here like Jackie, who has a lot of range, you're not in a position to really maximize that damage. And again, CML.
Love to see it. Boombill just running at them. The cookie is going to maybe save CML's life, and it will. He's going to just have to commit himself to try and remain in this lane. And we do finally see a rotation out from Boomy. Up towards the top lane, but he can't do anything as the pos for Doom. Mid lane, oh, that is a great mischief dodge from MCY. He dodged out the Tidebringer, and that would have been certain death had it connected. I don't even know how he dodged that.
Yep, it's a very tight window, but does manage to win out. Still the runes, Q's already in position to intercept, so MCY is just going to have to regen up with the Boundless, which is fine. Still a rough lane for our Monkey, right? 19-5 compared to our Kunkka 23-4. It's a tri-lane up top now, as you mentioned. Boomy's moving in, but I don't see this lane doing anything besides sapping EXP away from each other.
On the bright side, John, Boomy did manage to get the Ogre Frost Mage, so you do have some crazy bonus armor now from Boomy. Except he isn't giving it over to his teammates. There you go. That is going to be some insane kind of value there with that armor. How much does it even give? Yeah, bonus 5 armor. Pretty nice.
It is going to be enough to keep Max safe. They are holding this lane out, but again, they're sapping EXP. Even MG.Trust also dragging 3 bodies up, so they want to match this pace. They're not going to allow Adroit to kind of salvage this one out.
I mean, there's no real winning this lane, though, for Adroit. Pos 4 Doom doesn't do anything in a tri-lane, except eat creeps, and now he's going to be in a bit of trouble. He gets the bonus armor up, but he's been slowed up and Cogs pushed back, and the cookie just puts him back into the Cogs. There is going to be Boombill actually dying, thanks to the Scatter Blast, and somehow the Doom does get away. That bonus armor does indeed save him.
I think it's more of the Wild Wing Ripper just keeping that tornado slow. couldn't really move as much as they'd want, and that really costed them. Like, this is pretty much fixing up the lane for Adroit. They immediately TP MCY as well.
MCY's here now. Okay, he's hit level 6, going to make the jump on the Jackie with the Powerless Strike, and he does get the kill.
You never had a chance, Tri-6.
Good rotation, I guess. There you go.
Yeah, it works out. Fearless also has a 6, but isn't looking for any offensive plays. Adroit somehow going out 1 to 3. This is a great start. Nico being
Nico.
jumped.
He's in trouble. Burnbell going to catch the cogs as well. Does get the blood right, but the Aether Remnant going to hold him down, and the cogs. It's going to be enough to take him out thanks to Burnbell. It's going to be a 2 to 3 now. Mind you, all this time that's been going past, Fearless has been freely farming on the Kunkka. Looks like he is going into the standard double bracer build that we're used to seeing, or maybe even just one bracer, considering he is freely farming up. Could come back to bite Adroit later on if they're not too wary of this.
Yeah. It's, again, they're pretty much just running down bot now. You do see Masteros come up top instead, and Jackie's given mid to kind of farm up. It's been a hard lane for a Drow, 26 to 22. Amazing denies though, but you need some farm built up here on your pause 1, and they're just going to give Masteros the time to dance here. Has a 7, so there should be some opportunities for Masteros to jump in and out and try to make something happen.
Absolutely. It's hot lane again. Nico goes down. Burnbell, he just stuck around. Does get another kill for himself on the Clockwork. Gonna make it a 3 to 3 now. Looks like he's gonna start trying to rotate through to the mid lane, but he's out of mana. There's not really much he can do here. He does at least find himself a bounty rune, which is just left there this whole time.
Yeah, it's a nice pickup for Boombell. Still, they're kind of keeping it even here. 3 to 3 both sides. Less than 1k lead coming out for MG.Trust. Big runaway start here is still Fearless, who has just been forcing in the bot lane. Jackie still needs to play a lot of catch-up. You can see the pressure Adroit's keeping down mid, and they're jumping.
MCY gonna Primal Spring in. Burnbell gonna be there to interrupt. Does have the cogs and will push him away, but he's still being slowed by that tomato creep. They are still trying to get Burnbell out, and they do as Fearless now. He's gonna come in, try to set up on somebody with an X. Does eventually get CML on the Enchantress, but while that was happening, Burnbell does indeed die. MCY eventually does find him out. They do get the kill, so 1 for 1. Yes, they do run back
they
into
chopped
the
the tree.
Monkey King. They did chop the tree indeed, the monkey. Gonna be stunned up for a long time into the boat, and Fearless does get the kill, but now Jackie goes down to Mac. Boomy does also die on the Doom as Fearless is still going towards Masteros. Masteros gonna die now on the Void. Q being chased down by this Bloodseeker. The X not gonna be there in time. The torrent does connect, but Nico, he might just be 2-kick or maybe not. He gets cut off by Boombell. Just a very messy team fight between these two. It was a 3 for 3 in the end. Barely favoring Motivate.Trust, apparently, just based on the gold that was exchanged.
Yep, it is getting really, really messy for both sides. You lose Jackie, but you found a monkey. You are still hurting on Jackie, though. Look at the difference between MCY and Jackie. MCY is level 8, Jackie's level 5, just hit 6, and even the farm is just a far cry. 3k for Jackie, but you are 700 up on MCY. Sub 10 minutes, that's huge, although.
Hey, you say that, John, but he just died to Masteros. Bit of a jinx there, John. Just be careful, we don't want to curse these players.
Ooh, yeah, it's that evens it out a bit. Just about 300 behind, so Jackie's not going to be feeling too bad. Oh,
nice Aether Remnant there, just stealing that bounty rune away from the Doom. Very nice indeed. And Masteros looks like he's going for the standard build up on the Void Spirit, just going for that Yule Scepter. Probably gets the Aghanim Scepter straight after that. It's very, very standard stuff.
Yeah. Nothing too surprising. You are seeing Jackie start to play solo top, and you only really have CML's Enchantress to stop it, but this is just basically free farm for our Drow. So some space being built up here for MG.Trust. Adroit still setting their eyes elsewhere. It's kind of split up. We see some focus mid and some focus bot.
They might go, and they do, onto the Bloodseeker. Nico in a spot of danger here as Masteros does get him. And Fearless is just chasing down MCY as he's trying to run. They are trying to get the tree chopped down, but they couldn't get it in time. MCY, he's going to be all right. Unless Fearless trying to look for him, but can't quite get him. While that was happening though, Adroit, they do get the middle tier 1 tower. So, say what you will, they are making this draft somewhat work.
Yeah, I mean, they trade a hero away for that mid-tier 1, but it was just their Bloodseeker. So the objective is a lot bigger. And look at this, it opens up the triangle. They've been setting their eyes there, but Boombell is just sort of sticking to Jackie. Just really, really sticking close to that Drow and ensuring that she doesn't get jumped. MG.Trust setting their eyes bot again.
They are. Boat was thrown in, but looks like MCY was just fine. Maybe just clearing out the creep wave with the boat. Both teams just gonna focus in on some farm. I imagine the farming game would just favor MG.Trust though, if I'm perfectly honest. But just back Masteros, CML, gonna get caught out. Aether Remnant there, and Jackie does get himself a nice little pickup on the Enchantress, and Fearless got an X off onto Boomy with the torrent to come in, and Q with the follow-up damage, but Scorch Earth, no, a great hook shot out. Boombell, it's not gonna be enough. The cookie will save. They are going to try and pressure this mid-tier 1 tower and at least get their own tier 1 tower back.
Yeah.
MCY going to TP in. Doom is committed out onto Fearless, but he is just making a run for it, and he is fairly tanky. Jackie almost going down on the Drow, but is going to be able to survive through the kisses. It looks like Boombell is going to be the only one to drop his Nico, trying to chase down Fearless. The Doom does wear off. He will go for the TP play and does make it out. Jackie doing the exact same thing. That's kind of what happens when you don't have any stuns.
Again, we talked about it from draft, right? It was all down to Enchantress creeps and Doom getting a creep that can stun. Boomy, though, is sticking to that ice armor. Does take the crit creep instead, but that still doesn't help with the control. At least not until you have Infernal Blade, but that also is just down to one target. So Adroit, you know, they're keeping up. They're keeping up paces. They defend their mid-tier 1. It's still active at 191 HP, just outside of the Nye range. So there's still an opportunity here for MG.Trust to go for the objective if they wanted to. And some timings are still being met here by MG.Trust. Fearless, very close to the disarm, and they find a kill.
Yeah, Masteros again, understanding how easily he can kill CML, especially if Q's around on the Skyrath Mage. Still, I mean, MCY is getting decently close to that Aghanim Scepter. I must admit though, MCY has slowed down in farm a hell of a lot. I mean, at one stage he was at the top of the net worth board, and now he's just so far behind.
Been a bit of a struggle. We're going to have to see how they plan to bounce back there. Still, MG.Trust do manage to take the top tier ones. They're finding at least an objective here. Still not quite as big as that mid-tier one, but something for Jackie. He's getting a little bit more gold. Hurricane Pike up. So a bit more safe distance, a bit more social distancing coming out there for our Drow. Jackie should be keeping himself safe, but Adroit is just very stubborn down mid. They're just constantly shoving this wave back. Fearless has had enough. Just standing there and forcing the fortify.
Yeah. Almost has the Heaven's Halberd up on the Kunkka. Goes your tier 1 mid. That Heaven's Halberd is going to make it very hard on MCY. He hasn't, well, he actually has queued up a BKB now, so he gave up on the Aghanim Scepter. Interesting.
I think that's fine. I think BKB allows you to stand in front. You know, we've been talking about the plays with the Snapfire. They need to just line up the Wukongs and Kisses and Bloodright, which is a lot. But if they can, then you win big. The BKB will enable you to do that. The Ags for Mac is fairly close. We're talking about 100 gold off. And once that's up for Mac, well, I think the party starts to get started. Gobble up plays. You can toss in your Bloodseeker. You can toss in your Doom once he has a stun. and just kind of follow up and start cleaning up. We'll see if Adroit will want to play more aggressive once that's up, as it's flying out now on Mac.
And on the brighter side as well with that, John, you get an extra stun.
Mm.
I mean, it's
Plus
like
one.
1.5.
Over 0, that's, yeah.
1 second, 1.5 second. Pretty good. It's like a
Yeah.
30-second cooldown, though. No, 40-second cooldown.
Fairly low for what it does, really.
1.5 second stun on a 30-second cooldown, John.
But the
Seems,
range, Mike. The
yeah,
range.
I mean, it's the range and the damage. It deals like 700 damage. Masaros getting baited here. He's going to simulate, though. They need to jump in. Boomy not getting the Doom off. In fact, he almost dies to the Mystic Flare, but they still control him up. Nice big pick off there for Adroit. It could have been a real disaster had they not killed off Masaros and maybe get turned on. But now MCY going for more. Glimmer Cape is going to save Q for now as his teammates are coming in. Boombill wanting to cancel off those kisses does go after. That Snapfire is now the boats that come in from Fearless. He does connect it onto the Bloodseeker. Jackie even joining in with the right clicks onto that Bloodseeker. Does get the kill, and Masaros will come back in with a buyback onto Mac. Really wanting that Snapfire kill, and he probably will get it as well, and he does. Great team fight out for MG.Trust. 1 for 2 trade. Does cost you the buyback, but doesn't seem like Masaros really minds too much. So they might even get another kill here. CML is not too careful, but he does wisely go back instead of farming that mid creep wave.
Yep, and you mentioned it, but this is definitely worthwhile for MG.Trust. The fact that you're giving these kills to Jackie has allowed him to recover. He's number 2 in net worth now, Mike. Really good spot for a Drow. Hurricane Pike up. He can forcibly get some social distancing in place for himself. Gotta love Drow. But he's not wearing a face mask, though. Gotta watch out for that, Drow. Still, Adroit, the Ags reveal not going the way they want. You know, they've got it off cooldown now. They need to play with Boomy, get the Gobble Up Doom immediately. Just find that pick off, rinse and repeat as you build up an MCY. Still waiting for him to finish up his items. The BKB is going to be flying out soon, but you're not ready to take these bigger fights until then.
I know you aren't. Boomy gets the Doom off, and Gobble Up is going to be there onto CML. They are going to chase him down. Boundless Strike is out. Fearless trying to tank through the damage. Is actually kind of running away, but will eventually go down. But now perhaps the turn potential MCY doesn't really want to die, though. Nice mischief dodge. It's not going to be enough, and Masaros will continue the chase. Rupture is going to be there. They're going to turn around now with the Mortimer's Kisses, but he will use himself up, trying to survive through it, dissimulate as well. Aether Remnant, the TP out of there. He's actually going to TP right in front of Boomy. Does die to Jackie.
Now that you're dead.
They just can't cancel the TPs. How often do you see that, John, where he just TPs in the middle of a team fight?
Against a Bloodseeker, I want to say nearly every other game in a pub game, Mike. That is just, this is the classic pub mistake. Like, this is what you get for not going Ewell to Bloodseeker, which honestly is not what you want to go for, but you have to consider the situation you're in. You do not go stun on your Doom. He's dead anyway. The kisses are flying out, so Mac can't cancel for a Gobble Up, and even then, you mentioned it, 40-second cooldown. The creep army is not being maintained by CML. Something has to come out here to stop the TPs, and even then, once a BKB comes out from Masaros, what do you fix that up with? You're not nearly farmed enough on Nico to save up for the Basher. Still has to go for that BKB, so that is going to be a constant issue until we see some item progression or Boomy opting for that stun creep.
Which he still hasn't got. I mean, why even hold the... I get the Pact Leader's Aura gives your whole team bonus damage, but what's the point as a pos 4 Doom? You can't really use it yourself. Seems... You'd rather the stun. Even the Ice Armor was better.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I get the mindset, but it's just not lining up, and now MCY.
Getting jumped. Does pop the BKB. There goes CML on the Enchantress. Meanwhile, to the right side, they have caught out Mac on the Snapfire. He's going to cookie down to the low ground. Masaros was thinking about chasing, but decides better of it. So just one kill going on, and that will be the Enchantress, but got to count the fact that that was the 10-second BKB charge being expended by MCY just to run away.
Yeah, it's never what you want to see when you've got that fresh BKB. They gobble up though.
It's going to be on Jackie. It's a nice one with the Rupture out, and even the Doom he committed. Okay. Aether Remnant going to catch out Nico. Fearless doesn't have the boat to turn around here, but Boombell is just going to go on to Boomy. Hookshot is there, back onto the Doom with the Torrent out. Cookie is going to be there, but Fearless just cleans him up with the Tidebringer. Now trying to run away. Aether Remnant not going to lock anyone down. Fearless is going to be able to run out of the Blood Riders. Masaros just jumps back in. Jukes them out. The chase will continue for Fearless. Get a Tidebringer hit off. Glimmer Cape, Cookie, all there. They have the control. They should be able to kill Fearless here. It does finally go down. It seems though MG.Trust just didn't want to fight without Jackie being around. Well, I guess for good reason.
Yeah, they need the physical damage on Jackie to start ripping through. Good kills coming out from Adroit. That's what we were looking for. Just the gobble up plays leading into it. Overcommittal on Jackie though. Rupture plus Doom is a bit much. I think they've got the space to spell use aside. Like if they had Doom or Rupture on at least one of those targets there, they might have been able to find 4 further trouble rather than just 3. But yeah, it's just kind of nitpicking. Adroit need to get that done a couple more times though. So they need to wait out this next Doom timer. Maybe just toss Nico though with a Rupture that is available and kind of try to run down. Jackie is still getting big though. SNY up on his Drow, and they're just really starting to get the space out for the Drow. The damage is starting to rack up. Jackie just needs a defensive item, and you see a smoke come out from MG.Trust.
Gonna ignore the Roshan for now. Just wanting to go for the team fight. They have the boat back up. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of heroes grouped up here. Torrent, not gonna be there. Oh, Boombell.
Boombell.
Hooking into Fearless. X not gonna be out either. That's the gobble up play, John. Mac just gobbles him up. No X back. How is it balanced? I don't know. Someone ask Loader.
He would have a few words. Still, Adroit, it's their turn to smoke up, Mike. They're gonna try to go for a counterplay.
They could very well get it. They spotted out Jackie. He realizes something's awry here, so backs off, and Boombell going to turn back around onto Mac. But they've got a Rupture out on Masaros. Cogs is going to create some havoc into the middle of all this. Doom is there. Jackie has been caught, but Masaros trying to help out. In fact, he's farming a small camp right now. Oh, Masaros. Fearless trying to keep Jackie alive. Nico is just rushing forward so quick, and they get the Boundless Strike off. They connect on the Drow. Have they found another? It looks like they do get Boombell. So another 3 kills going on here for MG.Trust, and they will go into the Roshan pit.
Yeah, they're making the draft work, and you know I mentioned it, but they needed to find those pickoffs. They did really strange decisions from MG.Trust. They broke the smoke. They kind of knew it was coming, but they stayed and fight over Continent. Master was being punished for stepping out of his bounds, and with this Aegis going the way of Adroit, they've got so much room to play with. Like, we haven't even seen MCY commit the Wukongs, but they don't need it. They've just been able to clean up and been able to split these fights up really well.
That is a sad sight. Q could not kill off CML with the Mystic Flare. This hero is so bad. It's just so bad, the Skywrath Mage. Apart from the laning stage, what does this hero do? If you can't kill an Enchantress with 1060 HP with Mystic Flare, which does above that in damage, while you have a Kunkka with you, what's the point of this hero?
Yep, it's not lining up. You start to just really become about the silence. So it's all about the Ancient Seal, right? That's gonna be it. I think that is an issue now for Q to figure out. You know, going back to like Sky, the last time I remember a Sky was the one moment that strikes me with a Sky was when we saw it random by Sexy Bamboo. That will always stick in my mind. I was like, oh, last pick Sky. We didn't notice that the timer ran out. Like, they told us after it was a random. It's like, oops. That's never gonna disappear. Sorry, Sexy Bambo. It's in my mind. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, John. It was a great time.
Oh, but Adroit, they're having a fantastic time. Like, they dropped that lead to less than 1K. They're looking fantastic. MCY's sort of bounced back. They're still lagging behind Jackie and Fearless, but you can feel them get their power spikes in. The BKB up on MCY has been paying off. The Ags
Oh,
is just
dude.
about done, and whoop,
Azeroth's getting caught out in that mid lane. Burmy, though, is going to get cogsed up, and with the multi-shot, they will be able to kill him off. But another great rupture out onto Jackie. Unfortunately, he has a TP, so he'll just TP out of there. Hook shot back onto Nico, but MCY is going to follow up and help out. Fearless now going to throw the boat out just a tad late, but it won't matter. He
Ooh.
does end up killing off Nico. Mystic Flare John actually doing something this time around. They will continue with an X out now onto CML. Torrent to come in. CML being slowed up by the
Just.
concussive shot.
detection? No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Multi-shot is going to be there. Some nice damage out from Jackie. 2 for 2. In fact, it was a 2 for 3. The Enchantress just dying at the last second there.
Yeah.
So, too bad.
Even, fairly even for both sides. You hold on to your lead here for MG.Trust, but you are seeing issues again. Masaros needs something defensive. He's rushing the Lincoln's next mic. That should make it trickier for Boomy to land the Doom, but the Rupture's still going to come true. They just love committing these spells all at once. There's that Ags now on MCY, so he can really start to melt the heroes in front when he does jump in. I think we need to see something come out from MG.Trust soon. They've been a lot more reactionary. They have not been forcing these fights out themselves, and that's the biggest issue. Adroit gets to find the angle. Adroit gets to set the terms of engagement, and the response from MG.Trust has been middling at best. So we need to see what game plan they have. Jackie, he's also going for a defensive item now. So another Lincoln's as well. Jackie Lincoln's, Masaros Lincoln's being lined up. You start to wonder if there's a lack of offensive potential now, and that might be the next issue for MG.Trust to kind of solve as this game goes on.
Very slow game, I want to say, between these two.
I think
Jackie-
it's the
Yeah.
it's the pacing, the spacing of the fights. So it's like they get a 5-man team fight, and then they take a break for like 2 minutes to farm. It's just kind of interspersed like that. So we're not seeing, say, a transition to objective. Like, we've seen Adroit win a couple of fights. They haven't taken a mid tier 2 just yet, or even done damage. These fights are just not objective enabling fights, and that's the big issue as well for both sides. There's just no change in map control here.
Into the mid lane. The top lane, Boomy gonna TP back up. Rather bot lane, excuse me. Both teams really just... Oh, MG.Trust really just avoiding the Adroit side. Smoke will wear off. Boombell gonna run up with the Glimmer Cape. Gobble up is going to be there onto Nico, and now they've got Fearless with the Rupture. He is not throwing the boat out, and he's going to die. Interesting. Yules is there on the Bloodseeker. Aetherum to drag him back in. They do get Nico, but now the Doom is there onto Jackie. Buyback out from Boombell. They're going to try and turn this one around. Hookshot is not available, so Adroit, they're going to just happily back out of there. I don't know about that from Fearless. I feel like you just throw the boat out there and just take the boat run buff.
Yeah, it was just a bit delayed, the response. Masaros is using the Space Down bot. He's still playing there. It's so even. 22 to 22, less than 1K lead coming out for Adroit. It does feel like they've got an advantage in terms of control now. They're watching Linton ult.
Boomy. Definitely gonna die. Seems like everyone from MG.Trust is just trying to focus on farming a Lincoln Sphere. We do see Masaros and Jackie doing the exact same kind of thing with this item build-up. TP's up towards that top lane. Mac gonna get spotted. Aether Remnant not gonna be there in time, but the Yules was. They will be able to get this core snapped by once again.
Yep. It's again even, right? They got 2 kills now, so that ekes the edge out for MG.Trust. But what do they do with these kills, Mike? Maybe they line up for the tier 2 top. They're gonna start making their way there, but you've got enough time here for Adroit to maybe respond. No kisses though, no snap buyback. So if they actually transition this into an objective, this is gonna be a nice little pickup for MG.Trust. And yeah, look at this range on Jackie.
Love it. Does have both the Lincoln Spheres up on Jackie and Masteros now as well, by the way. They got them at the exact same time. There goes your tier 2 top tower. That'll open up the outpost to be taken, if they remember, which it looks like nobody has. Standard stuff, John. I always forget it. Like, your whole team just forgets that your tier 2 towers open up the outpost.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, you probably shouldn't forget as a professional team, but they do.
It happens to the best of us, Mike. It happens. So now you can excuse yourself. You say, well, even pro players forget, right?
True.
You've got an excuse, Mike. And honestly, you know, missing out is kind of fine because 40-minute mark is still pretty far out. The counter capture is going to be there if they hung around. Might have been an opportunity for Adroit to re-rotate, but Adroit, speaking of, they do have their ults up. They could look to play aggressive. They don't quite have smokes up, though. So it's going to be a trickier run up, and there is a BKB on Fearless, so it's not going to stop the Doom, but it's going to have a little bit more room to play with now on that Kunkka now.
You know, I feel like outposts are going to be removed in the next patch, John.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think they're going. I don't think they're sticking around. It's too hard to balance them.
Yeah, no, I mean, remember when we used to have shrines?
Yeah.
And then remember when we kind of had, like, the what do you call them? The outposts on the side lanes instead? It has been shifting around. I feel like that objective is such a strange one because it's a snowball objective. Like, if you're winning, you're going to have these. And the idea is, well, the consensus of people was like, okay, this is a way to balance out for if you're behind, you're going to get a solid amount of EXP out from them, but it's not. Like, if you're behind, you lose your outpost, and the enemy team snowballs. I don't know, honestly, what the fate of that is, but we have seen these meta changes really go back and forth, kind of ping-pong around there for weird consistencies coming out.
Big smoke up, though, MG.Trust. This is that moment where you would have liked to take the outpost, John. You would have had a bit of vision, a bit more control across the map. Still are going to run into Adroit. Now they'll take the outpost, but the smoke's very obvious. Boomy's not going to bother showing up. He'll blink away. And Adroit, they're just going to avoid them. They know they can't really guarantee a fight win.
Yeah.
Aether Lens Masteros. What?
Yeah. Never seen it before, Mike, but yes.
That's a new
The
one.
That it is.
34 minutes in, by the way.
Oh.
Catches out Boomy. I guess maybe that's why he wanted it. Great hook shot, though, out from Boombell with the cogs onto MCY, just locking him in with the boats are flying out. They are going to try and focus down CML first, and it looks like they might just get him. In fact, no, they'll turn around onto the Bloodseeker. Jackie does finish off CML. Nico set to go down. Masteros on the chase for MCY, but the blink out is going to be there. Or rather, Mac, excuse me. And Nico, he just runs out of there with a TP of his own, and he is going to make it.
TML by... That's a
Yeah, he's gonna
Strange
buy back.
buyback. I don't know about that one.
I believe they assume the Roshan's happening.
I mean, they have the ward. They did see movement there, but that's very preemptive. That is going to line up with their Doom respawn, though. They will have Gobble up. Maybe they can make a play now with all 5 up and no Boom Bell for half a minute.
Up towards that top lane, when Masteros is just gonna TP away.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? MVP of this game, TPs. it's
Quite
been
literally,
if there's
yeah.
one game where you can point and say, this is why you should have TP, it's this game. So in case, you know, you're playing a pub, you see someone with no TP die, point them to this game and let them know this is why you buy TPs, guys. Always have stock.
Masteros gonna just astral step away, and it is a very long range astral step. So
That it is.
I don't know if Masteros is just really big brain here with this this Aether Lens pickup at 34 minutes, but it might be the way to do it. Gobble up is there from Mac.
Oh
and you
my
can't X someone back when they're in the belly of a beast, John.
How fair. How
Very
balanced.
fair.
Well, looks like MG.Trust are going into that Roche. So, you know, it was an early buyback, but CML predicted it right. They are smoked up here on Adroit.
They're going to try and find this one out. They can't let the Roshan go down. Q, however, is going to break the smoke, and Masteros is going to straight up jump in. He does force out the BKB usage. Hook shot way off the mark. Boom Bill. CML, he get conked up. Jackie looking to go up towards that high ground where he'll go after Booming, trying to get rid of this Doom, but he still has the Doom available. Who does he use it on? He does get it off onto Fearless, just needing to get through the Lincoln Sphere first. They are going to focus down the Kunkka while Mac goes down to Masteros, and Fearless is not going to die. Boomy getting caught out. Masteros will pick that one up. The chase will continue.
Oh,
That is
CML.
huge range. Masteros does
Yeah.
get the kill.
That's the Aether Lens, Mike. It's paying off somehow.
Genius, John. Absolutely genius.
Big brain plays, as he said. Still Adroit, and they lost out in that Roche fight. There was a buyback forced out here onto Q, but you're happy now. You're surviving True Dooms. You're forcing awkward initiations because of these Lincoln Spheres. You take a tier 2, and this is where the Drow starts to shine. They can start sieging, and Adroit, no kisses, no Doom. They're just gonna have to watch.
Very sad moment here for the side of Team Adroit. They do go after the Monkey King illusion.
That
They'll
is
get
fairly
him.
tanky.
They got him though, John. Boom Bill gonna get
What?
full stuffed. Will
Dude?
survive. Blood Right is gonna take him out. Oh, goodness me. They get the tier 3 tower, and that'll be enough for MG.Trust. They'll back off now with a 7k net worth lead.
Yeah.
I mean, with
that
the way
was-
this game's going, everything's going just fine for them.
Yep, it really is. I want to point out that was Boombelt's own force staff.
Yeah.
So he did.
Well,
he has only himself to blame.
I mean, he couldn't just stand there, John. They were right next to him.
I suppose. Really iffy situation all around. Still, yeah, 7k lead, 29 to 25. Mike, 39 minutes in. Look at the Dota Plus win probability: 89% the side of MG.Trust, 11% the side of Adroit. So Adroit need to pick up the pace. We need to see what else lines up. This Monkey King core from MCY is not doing enough, and we have seen this come out from the few Monkey Kings we've seen, right? It falls a bit flat in scaling nowadays. It's just not as beastie as it once was, even with the Axe build-up. Just not as potent, and that's something Adroit has to consider here. You might argue that Drow has a timer. Jackie's just hitting like a truck. You have to remember, multi-shot, it's ridiculous range, especially if they find a good tier 4 here. Just giving additional range, that would just be sick, but they don't. But Princess Knife is still really darn good for a Drow. Look at a projectile. It's a machine gun.
With that, what's the game plans for Adroit?
It's still the same as it ever was. Gobble up, Doom, Rupture off, try to pop the Lincolns, find one big pick off in the back line, either to Drow or to Kunkka, or even Masaros would be pretty good at this point because he is actually really setting up.
Oh.
If you can find one of these, and you're good.
Oh, they'll come back for that Minotaur Horn, I'm sure. There you go, CML. Every good support knows. Gotta keep an eye out for these damn calls, John. They're always in a rush to try and get these damn items.
Yes, they are. You don't want to leave it to your 4 behind. You know, heaven help us. You're just stacking the odds against yourself, Adroit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Jackie. Let's push out that top wave. Well, it's not going to commit by himself. He'll just
Radiant's
wait out till they're ready. Trying to look for a fight here with the side of Adroit, but they are not looking for one, it seems. They just want to try and avoid every fight here and just push out waves and buy more time.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, they have decent high ground with Wukongs and Kisses, but they don't want to go late game here. Like, Kunkka is just so good. Masaros is already showing up. All you have is that Monkey King, and they're just going to keep these shoving. That's all they can really do. Aegis does expire. It's been that long. Jackie is not gonna have that second life. So they're just gonna stick to farming. Satanic next for a Drow. Is fairly close, all things considered. Gonna be a really good time for Jackie once that's up. Looking at Fearless, it's been long enough that he can opt for damage. Daedalus is next for the Kunkka. Adroit, though, they are smoked up. They got a bit impatient. They want to go now.
Dire's bottom tower is under
We're going to make it happen sometime. Boomy needs a great Doom target. Really hard with all these Lincolns. Gobble up is there onto MCY, but he's going to be completely surrounded. Boomy, he's trying to have a look for the Doom attempt. Not really finding it quite yet. He's still chasing down Jackie. Jackie's going to make a run, though. In fact, he's just going to man fight right now, but he's going to get bursted down. Masaros now on the run. The rest of Adroit going to go ahead and chase down Fearless, who was doomed. Fearless is now probably also dead. Alright, so the fight works out for Adroit. I can't believe I'm saying that. I don't know. It's working.
I think their patience paid off because the Aegis expired. So, you know, they held out long enough. They found her angle. Somehow perfect timing.
Yeah.
Way perfect timing and sniping out that Aegis. So, props to them for kind of keeping count. There is a... Oh, God. This is where it gets ridiculous. Mac has a Daedalus. He has his level 20 talent. Once you hit 25, good God, you are dealing with a physical snap at that point. And that is the biggest balance.
I love it.
Right? Like Gobble Up is so broken, and then you have these stupid talents as well.
Oh, I love it. Never change, Ice Frog. Never change. Masaros, try and go in. Masaros already at that level 26 mark. Actual step in. Oh, he has to step in, but he gets stunned straight away. Masaros.
All right.
Goodness me.
That's one way to give the lead out. Less than 1k advantage now to the side of Adroit. And those are terribly long respawn timers because of those levels you mentioned. So Adroit gonna be happy enough. They force the buyback from Fearless. They don't find anything. They even find a Masaros pickup. And now with this transition for Mac, he is a level away from 25, Mike. I am worried now for MG.Trust.
And the net worth graph is back down to less than 1k. I love it.
Yep.
Why
win
is
probability too?
this mount
Just
as well?
crash.
Like, what have they found there? Oh, it's going to be an illusion. MCY is around. Boombell with a nice hook shot out into the Mystic Flare. No, he does survive with the gobble up from Mac once again. Now he gets the Abyssal Blade out. He's going to go for the fight, but MCY Bound Strike does finally come out onto the clockwork, that is. They'll continue fighting on. Nobody's dead quite yet. They're still trying to chase MCY. Masaros, gotta be careful. That's a lot of damage up from that Snapfire. The bashes now. Mac trying to control him up. Masaros gonna just try and astral step away. Looks like he's gonna be alright for now, but MCY does catch him out. Boundless Strike, however, not landing, but the bashes will be there, so instead he'll astral step the other way now. Dissimulating back into the team fight. CMO. She's gonna die.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's a dieback in CML. So that was literally it. Just
That's
a
it.
dieback, and we spent what, a full minute, and that's all they got. That's outstanding play from both sides, actually. Really disciplined. But I don't know if you can do anything with that. Roshan is still a minute off. There's no objectives here for MG.Trust, I reckon. They just play patient and just keep farming up. Just try to build that lead back up here.
Masaros not going to be able to find Mac out. Mac still trying to go after that level 25. I love the fact that she has triple shot at 25.
Yep.
Makes me so happy.
It's ridiculous. It's just the fact that uses your attack damage, uses multi-shot, and I believe it procs on hit effects independently. So yeah, it's probably the only spell that procs on hit effects right now, I think, if I'm not mixing that up. That's what really breaks. That's what really makes the thing busted. It's no one. Oh, there you go. 25's up, Mike. You're
He's
gonna
got
be
it.
treated. There you go.
Gonna go after the MKB as well. So see the brilliance here from Mac. Just love to see all that damage being pumped out. Burmy is going to find out Boombell now. Glimmer Cape is going to allow him to run away for a bit, but he gets the cogs off onto Burmy. 4 staffs away. See why. Masaros. Simulate off. Boat is actually going to fly in. MCY is getting very, very low, but the gobble up again from Mac. Oh, it's perfect. Rocket Flare is there. MCY going to TP away in the tree line, and MG.Trust, they just can't catch a break. Mac once again.
Just disgusting.
Oh, wait a minute. Mac's up to
Saves
something.
the kill still.
Mac's up to something. No, he wanted to, I believe what he wanted was to hit the jungle creep, and the third multi-shot was going to go down to the clockwork, is what I believe he was trying to do. Unfortunately for him, it does not reach that far.
No, it doesn't. And I mean, props for him for trying to, at least. What matters is he tried. But posturing around Roche now, Mike. This is going to be the big one. Has an Ags upgrade as well. MG.Trust doesn't want to give that Aegis away. Neither does Adroit. And it's going to be important to maintain vision there. MG.Trust has a step up because they've got the clockwork. So Boombell can keep eyes out, and they do just drop the wards. They understand where they have to play now. Oh.
It's going to be a hook shot. Catch out CML. A lot of damage being dealt to Boombell, but not really anywhere near enough. Gets ruptured up. Now Masteron, seeing the rupture being used, just jumps in. But now needs to get out as Burmy is there now. Mac jumps in with the little shredder. And, well, MCY going to go after Jackie. Jackie still seemed to be fine, but Q does go down to Nico. Mortimer's Kisses flying in. Burmy about to drop and does go down. Masteros, meanwhile, controlling the rest with the Dissimulate stun. There is going to be a chase from Nico. He dies. Now MCY is trying to fight this one out, but he's also gone.
Hey,
Mac, yeah, Mac's dead as well, John. Mac is dead as well. A very messy team fight. There are buybacks available. Roshan's up as well, so MG.Trust is going to rush the Roshan pit. They should be able to get it fairly quick, thanks to Jackie.
Yeah.
Nico. Careful there, sir. Okay, they get the buybacks and that'll be it. They get out of the Roshan pit. Masros has a full sight device up now.
Yeah, and now it's at the point in the game where you start to think about these level 30 spikes. So the double talents kicking in. I believe we've got Masaru's fairly close. Is at level 28. Quarter of a way to 30. And the side of Adroit not quite as far ahead. So Jackie as well at 28. It's a pretty good spike for Masaros. Considering that he gets True Sight in his Remnants, the Astral Step crit as well allows him to do a little bit more damage. For the Drow's part, the Silence is nice. The Blind is going to be big once those BKBs fade away. MKB is only up on our Bloodseeker, but you don't have one on MCY just yet, although he is inching closer, but that's going to be something if he doesn't finish it up soon. Still, they both know the rush is up. They're not ready to commit. Both sides are, again, waiting out these respawns. Fearless is going to be the big one on the side of MG.Trust. Adroit, they do have Mac back up. So we'll see what happens here as they just keep holding out.
It's gotten to the point where Fearless is buying damage now on the Conquer. Gets a Daedalus up. They have more Lincoln Spheres being bought up as well. Fearless is buying one himself. Everyone's afraid of Dooms and Ruptures, apparently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is problematic in all fairness, but I don't know how this game has become so close between these two.
Yeah.
A lot of mistakes being made this game, I feel like.
Yeah, both sides just struggling a bit. Now, mind you, I believe again there are like other simultaneous tournaments. I believe I saw down the grapevine that MG.Trust did have to play a few series today. So that could explain why
They could be tired.
It is kind of brain melting to play multiple series. We saw Neon play 2 back-to-back, and that was just 2. I believe MG.Trust has played a little bit more, so you got to watch out for that. But looks like they're ready to commit in the rush, but Adroit again in position to contest.
Divine Rapier now. Oh, here we go. All right, there we go. Max had enough. Divine Rapier, Daedalus. Oh, I love it. And the multi-shot Lil Shredder. Let's see it get to work.
Let's
Mac,
go,
you
Mac.
gotta test the gun before you go to war. No, never mind. We're just smoking up.
Oh, not even a tease. What's
No.
to come.
Wants to leave the big surprise for the real moment.
Yeah.
How much damage is it gonna be, really, though?
About nearing 1,000 mark, although
Gobble up, Boomy's in. Gobble is going to be off the mark. Mac being very, very cautious with that Divine Rapier, not going in quite yet. Masaros goes in. No, he kind of screws up the Little Shredder. Masaros now going to actually jump on Mac.
Oh, no.
He's forced to BKB TP away. Meanwhile, MCY commits the Wukong's command. Jackie is there onto the Monkey King. 8th Remnant to catch him out. And that is going to be a pretty bad team fight for the side of Adroit.
Fearless?
They do kill Fearless, though. So they get something. John, if there's anything I hate, is people buying Divine Rapiers and then being too scared to fight.
Yeah.
Just don't buy the Divine Rapier next time. Rupture 4-star. That was his own 4-star again. Jeez.
Every time, dude. That's like 3 times in a row I've watched Boomball just do that. It's I mean, now you have 2 heroes with no buyback on MG.Trust, 2 heroes without buyback on Adroit. We're back to square one, Mike. It's just farming time. Farming Divine for Mac. Come on, at least show us the damage. There you go, 1.3.
I mean, it's great damage, John, but he's going to get close enough to hit people with it.
That he does. Needs to be up there. And, well, the respawn of Fearless is a bit earlier, but Boombelts is a bit later, so that balances out. Adroits are kind of lined up together. Okay, Jackie just forced it. He's done. Jackie's done. He just wants a road now.
Yeah. He's going to get a free Roshan. Aghanim Scepter Blessing is there. I wonder who they want to give it to. Jackie Doesn't have a free slot at the moment. Jackie, you probably should drag an item. There you go.
there
He
you go,
takes
there you go.
care of the Hurricane Pike. Now the team fight is about to start. Mystic Flare actually doing a lot of damage. CML does die.
Why not you?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Roche. That's a 16k
we-
lead now.
Are we waiting for tier 5 items now? Are we just going all the way?
Why not? I say. You know, might as well have some fun, farm the tier 5s, and leave it up to chance whether or not you throw a fight away. I say why not? You're about to hit the level 30 mark as well for Jackie, which it's not amazing for a drow, but it's there. And Masteros is a lot closer. That should be bigger on our Void Spirit, as
What does he
we'll
even
see
get?
just how long it takes.
Oh, the Astral Step crit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty value. He hasn't really gone the right-click build, though. So it's not really
Yeah.
going to matter for him too much.
Double damage.
Not too much, but it's still nice. I mean, his base damage is 213, so
Yeah.
it's still pretty ridiculous to have a crit on top of that. Good
Sure.
opportunities.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh.
It's Ross. Let's juke out the blood, right? Yours is going to be there onto MCY.
Yeah, isn't that amazing, Mike? Look at that defense. What creep wave? Oh, but what racks?
What racks, John?
Jackie, whew, machine gun.
That's it. Get rid of it, Jackie.
Come
Don't
on,
worry about
come
the
on.
backdoor protection. Just get rid of it. 25k
More?
net worth lead. Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, what are they gonna do? Do you think they want to walk into those arrows? Just
Nope.
let the buildings take the damage. Just stand there and watch.
Yep, that's all we can do. Respawns are up, but who did he actually feed the Ags to? I didn't even get to see. Who is it on? Oh, it's on, of course, it's on Fearless, so, you know, Torrent Storm, Mike.
Love
Beautiful.
it. Torrent Storm is actually pretty darn great.
It really is. It's so annoying, because suddenly you're forced to BKB, and if you're caught off, you're just kind of gone because of game stuns. Still,
We
here
go
we go,
again.
Jackie, round 2.
Why the hell
Wow.
not? Love
Whoa.
it.
Outstanding. Jackie, what a player. He's doing it.
Oh, there goes it. Oh, the 4-star play. The Rupture is also there with the Wukong's command. Jackie does
Jackie?
have the Aegis. They keep 4-staffing him, John. Masteros gonna jump in now, and there's your
Mac?
little Shredder just bouncing around. Mac doing a lot of damage out. They have to buy back immediately, but Fearless might just drop here, and it looks like he has. They commit all the buybacks. They do not want to wait any longer.
Oh, but there's still a Doom up. There's still a Doom up, and the kisses are still up here for Adroit. Could
I
be
don't-
risky with these buybacks.
I don't think they care about the kisses anymore, John. I don't think the kisses matter. I think it's all about hitting people with that little shredder.
Ooh.
Masteros gonna jump in. This is the Aether Remnant. Very unusual for him. He's been pretty on target the whole game. They get a secondary Rax. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. They're holding on. No, Adroit. Don't want to play against the numbers disadvantage. There's a late BKB out for Jackie. It should be a full 10-second charge for him. He
Very
is
nice.
in a very good point once it flies in. And the last Rax, Mike. Can they do it?
There's your level 30 on Masteros as well now.
No.
Jump in, Masteros gets the sight device off onto the Snapfire. She has the Divine Rapier. Everyone's just ignored
Oh, no.
Masteros. He's just going to take care of it by himself. Meanwhile, a Torrent Storm is upon us. They will get Boomy. Clockwork hookshot in onto CML. He's a bit of a sitting duck right now. He'll force staff away. Masteros gonna take care of
Ooh.
him. It was rather Fearless. Just crit him with the Daedalus. back in onto that turn, but Nico, and here comes your little shredder from Mac. A lot of damage onto Fearless. He does kill off the Bloodseeker, almost dead himself, does go down. Now Masteros needs a way out and does find one, or does he? The TP does make it.
Whew. On the edge there for Masaros. MG.Trust couldn't do it. No, they couldn't do the high ground. Good defense from Adroit. They were forced to buy back, but MG.Trust also bought back anyway earlier on. So it's kind of even in the end, only expending 2. You still are at a very good point in tier 5s, Mike. Here we go. Ballista, you'd love that if you were Jackie, but it's not on their side.
Wait a minute. Alright,
Oh,
so
it's Stygian though.
Max got 2 Divine Rapiers, but with this Ballista, does he knock back people with the little shredder?
Yeah, we'll find out, I think. When he gets to a camp or something. Although they die too fast. But I want
Oh my god,
yes,
it does.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus. Jesus.
Masteros.
Oh, no.
He's got the Hex.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh boy. There goes your Divine Rapier. Luckily
Mac.
for him, the second one was in the base. He doesn't have buyback anyway. Mac. Of all times to try and farm, it's when you have 2 Divine Rapiers up. I'm not sure it was necessary for him to hit the jungle like that. But, he goes down with the Divine. Bit unfortunate.
Oh, he's gonna be so upset. That cost him his buyback. He's just
He has
stuck.
another one. He does
Yeah.
have another one though, John.
Yeah, but with no buyback, a full minute. You're looking at that last set of racks. You have to remember, we were talking about Masaros not having a crit build. Well, you have a Divine now with your Astral Step crit. So,
You're laughing.
yep. He got his farm elsewhere. He's like, thank you. I didn't farm for this, but thank you. Oh my god.
Masteros gonna jump in now. That's a lot of damage being dealt. The Monkey King just kind of stuck there, stunned up. He'll go for the Wukong's command now. MCY gonna try and fight back. Boom Bill does end up going down. Buyback's out. Masteros looking for his next victim.
Jackie. Stygian.
Stygian and Desolator, John. Masteros gonna go in by himself with that Divine, trying to fight this one out. And yeah, that is a fair bit of damage. Not quite enough to kill off CML yet, though. Megas are up, but Jackie's had enough. He's just going after T4 towers. They'll go for the fight. There's a Divine on the deck now. Fearless trying to go in for it. He has a slot open. He does pick it up. MCY is dead anyway, and the GG's been called. Woo. What a weird game.
What a game one. I don't. It's ridiculous. I think is how I'd put it.
It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous game.
90 kills, Mike. 50 to 40. 1 hour in. 37k net worth for MG.Trust. You gotta take a look at that graph. I think the Team XP net worth. Look at it bounce around. It just constantly bounces. MG.Trust up, down, slowly up.
At least it was a fun game to watch between these two. Game 2 should be coming up in about roughly 10 minutes. It's MLP Dota on Gen X5. We'll see you all again in about 10 minutes for our last game of the night. See you then. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're here for our final game of the night and the second game of this best of 2 series between Team Adroit and MG.Trust. And of course, it is MLP Dota and Gen X5. John, before we go into the draft, I want to take a moment to make Fearless feel a bit better. As you know, his recalibration didn't go very well. Did end up losing 800 MMR. But I did just read on Reddit that someone had an even worse recalibration. Apparently, someone went 7-3, 7 wins, 3 losses, and went from 7.5k MMR to 6,000 MMR. So they lost 1.5k MMR by winning 70% of their matches. I don't know how much you have to win to gain MMR with this recalibration. Something
You know what
tells me...
they say, Mike.
I don't think I'm recalibrating, John.
You know what they say, Mike? You got to give it your 110%. And if you don't, well, you lose out. And you got to put in, you got to win 11 out of your 10 games.
True.
That's all you need to do. You need to win 11 of them. You don't get it, and I'm sorry, you got to try harder. Still, bit of a shakeup here in the draft. Adroit, they do start with the Bloodseeker Morph,
Yeah.
Trust, Void Spirit, Lifestealer. So changing it up a bit. They've got the same bases here, Void Spirit and Bloodseeker coming out again, but they're playing with other heroes now. Early core pickups, Morphling, Lifestealer, an interesting back and forth. The Morphling should have a pretty good time here. Lifestealer just, I mean, you can punish when he does Strength Morph, but that is pretty much it. We'll see what other vehicles Trust pull out. Void Spirit is one vehicle for the Lifestealer, and of course, flexibility for MG.Trust. And they can run. Wow, they're really flying through this draft. They can run the Void Spirit mid or off. We've seen Masaros play it pretty well. And the respect bans from. I'm wondering why Adroit they ban out
What?
cores, but they already have a Lifestealer.
Wait. Why is everyone bringing up techies? I had a quick glance at the chat. Someone's bringing up techies. Our admin Doug brought up techies in this last game, asking one of the teams to choose techies. Why? No techies. I will literally leave this game if a techies pops up.
They got to pick it now.
Yeah.
They've got
Maybe.
to. I know. You've got this Bane out now for Adroit, which is not a support you see too often unless you see, say, that Pangolier. It's good catch for the Void Spirit, good catch for the Lifestealer.
Yeah.
You do have a way of dealing with that inbuilt magic immunity here. I am still wondering why Adroit banned out the PL and the Drow. What do they expect the Lifestealer to do if they ban out this course? Like, what other roles would it take?
I don't know. This goes back to the very strange drafting with Adroit recently, right? Like, what is the Lifestealer doing if it's not a position 1? I mean, it's not going to be a mid Lifestealer, nor will it be an offlane Lifestealer. It can't be a support Lifestealer. I mean, it could.
I don't think so. No.
I've never seen it, so I'm not really sure why they banned out PL and Jackie. Maybe, excuse me, not Jackie, but rather Drow.
Yeah.
I mean, they are banning Jackie with those bans,
Yeah,
but he's got the
pretty
Lifestealer, so I'm not 100% sure what they're up to here.
Yeah.
Still, the draft continues. Adroit, their 4th pickup now. I also found it rather intriguing that they did go for the Bloodseeker Morph straight off the bat.
Yeah. It's not a combo you see too often. In fact, you do tend to see the Bloodseeker into Morphling, but Bloodseeker with Morphling is a very different dynamic. Let's see what they can do. You have the amp up for the Morphling to do more damage if you want, and they do get the Marana. So you get Bane Marana this game. How many patches has it been since we've seen that window? Like, literally every team picks Marana, don't pick up the Bane.
Yeah.
But we have it here.
I mean, the Bane does seem okay in this game, not gonna lie, John. Like, you got the Void Spirit, you got the Lifestealer, both of which hate playing against the Bane. Then again, the Bane could be easy food for them, but that's pretty much any position 5. As long as you've got your positioning right as this Bane, that shouldn't really be a problem.
Yeah. MG.Trust, they do
Not
get...
again, really? No, but really though, like, it's such a bad hero. I'm not sure why they keep picking this up.
No. No, I mean, you've got Clockwork Sky. That's the only... Clockwork Sky Void Spirit.
We saw it
I
last
think that's
game,
the only
John.
Tricore, yeah.
We saw
That's
it
the only
last
true
game.
set of
It didn't
heroes.
do anything.
I mean, they won. They still
Yeah,
won.
I mean,
so
I don't know
you
if they felt like they really won after that game, John. It was a very messy game, but
yeah, you got to thank Mac for that one, honestly.
yeah, it was a mess, that one. Still, I mean, look, the Skywrath obviously very lane dominant, right? We can both agree on that. It does dominate the lane, sort of like an Enchantress, but it feels like after you get past that laning stage, it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it really falls off a cliff for a while, and then it skyrockets back. It's a weird bounce back for that hero. I think you have more activity with the Lifestealer Clock combo, though, so the Sky can kind of follow up in that initiation.
Yeah.
You have more activity here from Jackie compared to his Drow, which just farmed as much as possible and just split push. So there's some more fighting potential here. Last pick is going to be interesting. Now, they have left the Tidehunter for MG.Trust so far, but they might just last pick a Fearless here in the end. So we'll see if MG.Trust will want to sneak the Tide here for Masaros. I have missed the dad bod Tide. Maybe it makes its appearance here, so we can be treated to it.
We've seen it so many times today, John.
You miss it. You miss it after a 1 hour game. It's refreshing to see it back. It's a sight for sore eyes because of how long. Would you rather last pick techies, huh?
No, no, I would not. I guess you're right, John. Just bring the Tide back. We don't want to risk the techies.
Yeah,
By
I
the
mean,
way,
look,
I was thinking about it, and I guess the Skywrath with the Ancient Seal is going to be quite valued this game. In all fairness.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, on the Morphling, it's going to be annoying. Like
Even
that
the,
might force Lincoln's build up.
Everyone, though, even the Mirana Bane, right? Like, they do
Mm.
not like getting silenced, and
Oh, yeah.
it does give you a long-range kind of way to deal with the Fiend's Grip,
Mhm.
so...
Mhm.
Apart from that, though, it feels like you could have chosen anything else.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's still. It has that issue where Sky's niche is kind of filled by better heroes. So
Yeah.
again, it's so hard for me to say that though when MG.Trust won. So it's like, but they did make it work. So they know what they're doing. Now, what I want to see is what they plan here because they ban out the Ember. So that's telling me they might just want the Void Spirit mid for Fearless and maybe opt for a last pick off lane here. But
Perhaps.
they're not going to the Tide. Come on, Masaros must be yelling at them. Just give me Tide, please.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like a great Tide game, though, John.
It's not. It's not. To be fair. Okay.
All
So
right.
it's the two Spirit Brothers Storm coming out. You do not have the best hold at the same time, though. You do have Fiend's Grip here. There are some ways to counteract the Storm. We'll see what Fearless can do. It's gonna be a back and forth one for the Storm, but Adroit now have to find the laner that deals with that Storm Spirit here.
5 seconds.
Let's see who it's going to be. I mean, Storm has been... It's rather weak in the current meta. It's obviously it's still Storm. Like, if you get a good start, you just kind of become unstoppable, but... Yeah, I don't know. Adroit, they should have plenty of time to deal with this Storm in this last pickup.
Honestly, I'd like a Zeus, just so I can finally shut up about Bloodseeker Zeus. I do want a Zeus. I think that's pretty okay. The laning is 50-50 though. It's not a complete dominator over the Storm. You can kind of run it that way, but you will need rotations from your Bane Mirana regardless of what you pick up here for Adroit.
There's no way it's a Zeus, though. Like,
No.
you just zip in
Not
on the
into
Zeus every
Sky.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Not with a Sky as well. But it would be dank. I just want to see Bloodseeker Zeus, Come on. I want a Blood Rage, Thunder God's Rat,
Yeah, but then
Nimbus.
you need the Spectre, though, on top of that, if you really want to...
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's not
You don't want to
there.
do it with the
Not
Morphling.
there. Nope. It's not the same. You're right. We'll save that for another game. We'll save
Yep.
it for another game, boys. Thinking hard though.
Yeah, this mid pickup is seeming to be a bit confusing for them. Obviously, the Ember would have been nice.
Yep. Taken out. I don't think you want something like the Puck or Quap in this case. It is fairly active, but honestly, a lot of mid heroes just hate the Sky Rat in the pool. So it's really tricky, and Adroit dipping really deep here.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Make the ultimate choice.
I was
Okay.
gonna say that I thought Motivate.Trust could have gone the Earth Spirit route, but why the hell not? Adroit, they pick up what should be the mid Earth Spirit.
Yep.
It is a
Mr. Mac.
core Earth Spirit at the very least, John, which makes me very happy, and let's see how it pans out.
Yeah. It's a second game. Can be a good back and forth. The lanes here for MG.Trust not as wacky as they are. Boombell Clock, Q on the Sky again, Fearless and Storm up against should be up against Mac Earth Spirit. which is something to watch out for. Although there's the chance Nico is going to take mid instead, so I think you kind of can make that happen. Lots of key timings here. You want to see Adroit play fast with a Bane Mirana. Nightmare Arrow has to come out, win out those lanes, win out the rotations mid. There is not much a Storm can do once that gets set up, unless his supports are right in point to break off the Nightmare. It should be a straightforward set of kills. So I want to see Adroit play faster here, find those early kills, build up. They have the lineup to get that done. The only slow hero they have is that Morphling of MCY, and you just buy space for it. Really good lineup to make that happen. MG.Trust, they have two great vehicles for a life stealer, Storm and Clock. So you have options there for Jackie. And they also have a bit of a more active core for Jackie. Armlet timing for him is going to be key. And then we'll see how they build up from there.
See how it works out. Game number 2. Very intrigued to see how this mid lane pans out between Mac and, of course, Fearless. We have seen it before, I believe. It's for Fearless, it's just trying to avoid getting kicked back into the tier 1 tower prior to that 6 mark.
Yeah.
I mean, Mac's a tanky Earth Spirit. I am pretty sure he should be just fine, you know, maintaining himself in the lane.
Yeah, he's got ways. We've seen the Earth Spirit versus Storm a couple of times, and you can kind of make it work. I don't see this as a complete washout for Fearless. Mac has ways of playing around it. I think the importance really lies on the other lanes, how much boom he can get done with his Mirana, who has a really ugly mount. That is not eye-pleasing at all. I don't like it. Eh.
It is weird, isn't it, this one? It kind of looks like a Keeper of the Light mount, almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be some aquatic lion fish thing. Fish
Yeah.
don't have feet, though. So,
No.
I know what it's supposed to do. It's getting me upset, Mike, just looking at it. So I'll just ignore Boomy's existence for now. No
Fair enough.
scuffle over these runes. Maybe just a scout out. Yeah, nah. So, yeah, a lot of importance on those lanes, a lot of importance on the pause 4 to get work done, and you can see Adroit starting with an early tri lane, although Boomy looks like he might not. He's just going to grab rune. We'll see if they prioritize the Nightmare Arrow, as, you know, when you have the Bane here in this lane, you do expect that play, and they should have good enough damage. Jackie would not want to go level 1 Rage, of course. Boomball would also be a pretty good, easy target to pick up, so we'll see how long they maintain that try.
They can just try and go for an early first blood. You know, if you can get the Nightmare to the arrow, it's going to be a pretty nice start.
I think CML showed himself, though, so they know there's a tri lane. Stepping out a bit too far.
It's pretty tough for CML. He's starting with level 1 level 1 Nightmare then.
Yep.
You can't really do too much with that as the Bane at level 1.
Nah. You can be annoying, but that's it. And he goes down bot, of course, where you have Masteros and Q once more. And MCY is off to a smooth start. This is not a very threatening lane until you get Q with the silence. Once you have that silence, you can start to apply some scare potential in MCY. It is an instantaneous silence. So the Ancient Seal is going to cause issues for MCY until the Manta is built up, which is what MCY should be rushing for in this game. Manta is going to be pivotal for him to just survive in these fights.
I do agree. Boombill, meanwhile, top lane is going to chase down Boomy. A lot of damage out with the Battery Assault. Of course, not quite enough to kill him, but definitely going to force the Mirana out of the lane. And, well, he's got 2 tangos available, so he's going to need at least a salve out. Unfortunately for him, he just brought a stick out, so not expecting that much damage to be committed by the Clockwork. Looks like he's gonna have to play a bit safer.
Yeah, it's a slower start. Again, just not finding the arrow plays, and he might be able to isolate Boombell, but nah, too far out. One lane we haven't talked about as well is the development of mid. Mac is falling behind in CS, but is keeping up in EXP, which is, I think, fine. You don't expect to really farm too heavy on that Earth Spirit. As long as you get your level spike, you should be set. does have early mobility advantage in securing these power runes as well. So Fearless will have to watch his step once the 4 minutes are coming up here.
Oh, top lane, Boombill is probably going to be the first blood, and he is. Boomy, able to take it on the Mirana.
It was ours
Yeah,
all
just
along.
was very out of position. Because he did create a lot of space there for Jackie in the top lane by making them chase him like that, but you don't want to give that first blood gold away.
No, definitely not, and that does help Boomy bounce back. Just helping our Mirana really start to escalate. And, you know, Nico at level 3, with level 2 Bloodright, with level 1 Interest, can sustain the lane quite nicely. Jackie, he's not going to be threatening towards Nico. I think Nico's just going to be comfy enough to be left alone now.
Oh, mid lane, Mac, he got very low, but had plenty of stick charges available, so he does manage to just walk away and heal up a little bit. It looks like this Storm Spirit lane is causing him a bit of a headache, though. And, well, naturally, it is going to be a bit tougher considering you are up against a range hero. But once those power runes do spawn up, he should be alright, considering he does have the role to give him that inbuilt mobility compared to the Storm.
Yeah, that's going to be the key part for Adroit. They need to ensure they find these power runes. They are sort of set up as well with Boomy, but there's a forward ward watching, and Boombelt's just going to work his way down now as well.
Yeah, Boombelt doesn't have the battery assault right now, so can't really force any leap charges out of that Mirana.
Ooh.
Told you a storm was
Double damage
coming.
there from Mac. That's going to make the life of Fearless just a little bit tougher as well. He is almost level 6 though, but just going to be a little bit cautious about Mac rolling in on you at any moment. And, on bot lane, looks like they do finally end up picking off the Bane. Masaros was able to pick it up on the Void Spirit.
Yeah, and that's something you have to watch out for. The Ancient Seal, the Concussive Shot just enables easier setup into that Aether Remnant, and the damage flying out is pretty big. So you're getting some good farm here for MCY, though. I think if you're the Bane right now, you're fine with this, as your Morphling is getting all the space. You're kind of sacrificing yourself, but it is a pause 5. That is what you expect from that role.
Bill. Jackie gonna try and harass out Nico a little bit. Can't do too much up against the Bloodseeker, it seems. Just sustains himself so well in the lane. I'd say that this might be a real big concern for Adroit, how well Fearless is farming right now.
Yep, it's a bit too smooth. Mac does have his leveled spikes, but now they need to make something happen with it. We haven't seen the rotations of the supports for the Arrow Nightmare. Fearless is just free, and he's fine trading like this.
Yeah. Concussive Shot, Ancient Seal, they've got Mac. He needs to roll away, and Fearless actually going to back off. Interesting. Interesting choice. Maybe
Bit
he felt like he
defensive.
didn't have the damage, but it kind of feels like he would have.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to be comboed on top. They were aware of the movements of the Mirana, so they kind of just preempt any sort of movement out. And, well,
Well, they go on to Boombill now, but he's going to be alright to walk out of there. There's plenty of heroes in the mid lane. CML's going to show up, gets a nice little D-ward in that mid lane, and that'll pretty much be it. It's like Fearless is also going to back off. They might try to make another jump, but Mac looks a lot healthier now. It's going to be a little bit challenging to actually get in on this Earth Spirit. It's going to be just
yeah,
fine to walk away.
yeah, it's a bit hard. The early aggression we're looking for from Adroit with all of these really mobile heroes isn't quite lining up. Fearless is still pulling ahead in terms of farm here. 10 CS ahead, completely up ahead as well in terms of actual net worth. And they just keep applying pressure on Mac. He can't leave the lane. He can't make anything happen, and Fearless just makes use of that space well. The supports are stuck around this area, but they do smoke up now.
Yeah, they do. Bot lane, however, Nightmare is going to be out onto Masaros with an arrow follow-up. Should mean a dead Void Spirit, but he does have Dissimulate. Won't matter though. MCY able to morph into the Void Spirit, still top lane. They try to go onto Fearless, but he's going to survive and go back in onto Nico, and Nico can't do much about it. Q the one to be able to pick up the kill there on the Skywrath Mage. So we end up with a 2-2 kill score. Fearless still farming extremely well, and apparently he has plenty of stacks to take.
Yep, it's what you like to see here, as his build-up into the Orchids can be relatively quick, although Boomy.
Oh, Fearless messing up a bit there.
Star.
That'll be a killing spree out for Boomy now. He did get all the gold, which is, I guess, still pretty good, but you definitely don't want to die like that. They're going to turn around, though, with the Ancient Seal into Boomy, but he will eventually leap away. Nightmare is going to be there from CML, and now Mac going to go after the Skywrath Mage. Arrow is going to whiff. Q's going to turn around onto Boomy, but it won't matter. Mac, he has the damage, and Boom Belt still rushing forward, does have the cogs up. Fearless is going to zip in as well with Masros to come in. They'll go after the Earth Spirit. Mac could not get himself out. They do lose Boom Belt in response, but it seems though they don't really mind.
No, Boombelt's perfectly fine sacrificing himself. You find the kills on that big core down mid. We talked about it being really important for Mac to find that early ramp up. He's still behind. He is still at 7. You've already got 8 and Fearless. They do still maintain these really beautiful forward wards. This is what's enabling Adroit to counteract the farm. They need to get some D wards here if you're an MG.Trust, and they do. Boombell a little bit late, but better late than never. Still finds the gold.
Yeah.
The big thing here for Adroit is you have left MCY alone. So your Morphling is pretty much free farming bot, still slightly behind Fearless and Jackie, but he's having a good ramp up here.
Radiant should look to their top tower.
I like that. In fact, hold that thought. Masseros gonna make the jump in onto CML. Does get a nice pick off, and I was saying, John, I do like the choice made there with that Royal Jelly that Fearless just picked up. Gave one to himself and gave the other one to Masseros over giving it to Jackie. He held it for about 5 seconds, and it's almost like they were having a bit of a discussion as to who gets it. Because the Life Stealer doesn't really need the bonus HP regen and mana. I'd say Masseros is much happier with it.
Cool.
The dire scan.
Environment locks down Boomy, but they do have the control for Masseros, or do they? He does Astral Step out. Yeah, those boulders. He didn't have any spells available.
Oh, Fearless stole the rune as well.
Uh-oh. They roll in after the clockwork. Boombell is going to die anyway, and Fearless, he's just chasing a courier at the moment. Does get CML's courier.
Each brave career.
2 couriers.
Two? Why the hell not? They are worth a fair
uh,
bit of gold, so you may as well take them.
Yeah, and a bit of a mistake. Adroit, they forced the fight for the bounty rune. They don't get it anyway. They do manage to find a kill, so you're happy, but overall, net worth lead still on the side of MG.Trust. We talked about free farm on MCY. You do have free farm on Jackie as well, so you got to watch that trade you're doing here.
Yeah, you do. Jackie's really free farming though. Like he is well and truly ahead in terms of net worth. Does have the full the Arblet on the way. TPs are coming up top though. Boomy gonna try and set up for an arrow, but he'll go after the siege creep with that arrow. Be rather hard to kill off Jackie anyway, and it's actually MG.Trust jumping in from the side, going after Nico first. Roll in from MC, or rather Mac, trying to help out. They are going to be able to find Boombell. Everyone else from MG.Trust is out of there. They don't really get the kill they wanted though.
Yeah, they force out 5 TPs top though. And that does kind of free up space in the side lanes. They already tossed Masteros bot. Jackie was down mid trying to get a push out. And bit of a missed opportunity with that first hook shot here for Boombell.
Cute.
But,
Tried to go for a solo pick off of MCY. He is going to get punished for it now. He's just been blocked in by MCY and is going to tie for it. Well, mid lane, Jackie going to go on to Boomy, but they don't have detection, and Boomy got an Invis rune, so he's going to be all right.
yeah, just scuffles across the map. You are going to get an objective here if you're Adroit. They're shoving in the top. MCY's got the damage. No defense coming out. They did chip away at the bot tier 1, but they're not ready to finish it off. And Masteros.
Boomy's stalking him. Saros, go forward and simulate. He has been ruptured up, but he does have help right around the corner. CML even going to jump in. He does have the Fiend's grip. Won't commit it yet. Mac going to go after the clockwork again while CML looks for a target with that Fiend's grip. Can't quite get one. Instead, it looks like they are going to be just kind of stuck chasing down Boombill, even committing the Magnetize for this kill. He does hookshot away, however. Boombill, roll in. Does have a TP, waits out the arrow. Still can't really TP because the roll is such a short cooldown, but is buying a lot of time. Eventually, we'll just go down to Boomy. Meanwhile, oh, it's just the MCY. It's morphed into the storm using the Vortex.
Yeah, they did manage to clear out that bot tier 1 from the time bought out by Boombell. So in the end, you find an objective, you're happy. It's still pretty good farm being found here by Jackie, but MCY is starting to pull ahead now. Morphling has been left alone for a bit while. He does opt for the Yule's build-up for the Purge and the Silence, not the Manta. So just wanting something to purge it off ASAP, this should give MCY some durability here.
I mean, it should. What's Jackie going for? Just the Sange. Guessing into just the SNY build-up.
Yeah. If not a disarm, but I don't see the value in it against a Morphling specifically when... Although MCY is going for a right-click build, going for that Scotty next. So perhaps a disarm is actually going to be pretty good for Jackie. You also have the Orchid up now on Fearless. So you've got this jump-in potential, but it lines up against that Yule. So MCY is not a very easy target to go for. You need to stack your silences one by one in order to find that kill on the Morphling.
Lane, Mac is going to get jumped 3 different ways. Now, the Bane tried to come in and help out, but he's been silenced up immediately. And Masteros will jump in after that Mirana. That'll be Boomy going down.
Ooh.
3 quick kills out from Motivate.Trust. In fact, they even spotted out MCY in the morph, but he's going to be just fine to get out of there. Still, though, a very nice little engagement out from this Dire side. They are going to be able to get this T1 mid-tower out of it.
Yeah, just smooth sailing here for MG.Trust. TPs are coming in a bit too late, and that's one thing you can't underestimate from MG.Trust. They have 3 highly mobile heroes, a lifesteal hero who can infest, so you're talking about 4 heroes on top of anyone at any given time. You have to really watch your spacing here if you're a droid. Try to keep each other covered in your movement and kind of don't break out too far.
Looks like Boombell's going to get caught out again on this clockwork. Arrow, of course, going to connect with the Yule setup. They'll roll in with Mac, and that'll be another easy kill onto the clock. Been a bit of a tough game for Mac, though. Sitting at 3, 2, and 3. I'm going to say, even though Boombell is dying, it feels like he's just getting a lot of information for his team. It's not a great look, per se, as he is 0 and 6, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the side of Motivate.Trust very much, the fact that he's dying quite a bit.
No, it's just, as you said, giving info. It's better him dying than anyone else, and they take the tier 1 end.
Gonna get jumped, no silence out, but they get the Vortex there, hook shot in, but it's not gonna be enough. Fearless is already down. Here comes the rest though. Jackie gonna jump in with Masteros. They're trying to focus down Mac. Meanwhile, Nico will take down Boombell, and they have finally found Mac. CML gonna be in a spot of danger as well, as Jackie does continue chasing, but did not pop the rage. That'll be it. Still a great team fight out for the side of Adroit. They'll happily back out.
2 for 1 coming out for them. They did have to expend their Fiend's Grip, but they found a Storm. That's the biggest kill you could hope for. Fearless, not watching his positioning all too well there, is punished for it. But MG.Trust still maintained a slight net worth lead, 2k ahead. That is down to the fact that Jackie is just given a lot of space here. Halberd up now on our Life Stealer, so he's got a little bit of evasion, better stat resist. Gonna be the Desolator next, and once you have that, Jackie should be able to rip and tear. I do want to see MG.Trust play more with its long-range initiation. They have just find those key pickoffs that they have every single time they've got the hook and they've got everything up. I think you have to play with that, and they do infest into Boombo.
Mid lane, Orchid gonna come out from Fearless, but they do have the Yules out still. The 8th Remnant gonna lock him down, and now Mac, he rolled into his own death, it looks like. Nightmare trying to help him out by CML, but it does nothing. Rupture is gonna be there out of the Life Stealer, and that will stop the chase, or maybe not. Boombell, a great hook shot in. Mystic Flare, as usual, not really doing too much damage, John, but he is still dropping low. Boombell gonna go down. Fearless, though, will turn back around onto Boomy, and now Masteros gonna go after the Bane, but no, he'll jump back out. Another successful team fight out for MG.Trust. They continue to dominate these big team fights. Jackie gonna run onto the triangle very confidently here. To MCY, they're just gonna try and man fight together. Trade some hits, just heal each other up and back out of there.
Yeah, it's a back and forth. Now, the great thing about this for MG.Trust is they don't have the biggest ults to wait for. They can just immediately keep that gank train going if they wanted to. That was a buyback on Boomy as well in his Mirana. So, kind of setting that Mirana back by a ton, finding those kills. And they invade the triangle. MG.Trust 4K lead back on their end. You mentioned the durability there, and Nico, he does have that early Hood of Defiance. So this Bloodseeker is not the target you want to go for. With a Mystic Flare, it's going to have to be someone else if you want to find that kill. But so far, MG.Trust has been winning out these trades. Slightly behind in kill score, but it's not the score that matters. It's the net worth and objectives, and they are finding more control on this map.
Yeah, and I'd say they have the better late game as well. You look at that Life Stealer and the Storm, it just seems to be quite a lot to deal with. Hell, even the Void Spirit. I mean, we saw Masteros last game. It's just really going well into the late game with that Void Spirit, but performing probably the best on his team in that game. Boombell getting a very nice hook shot onto 2 heroes, and that is just going to blow them up. Rupture is out. They're going to try and fight this one back, getting a nice silence off with a Magnetize, but there's too much damage out from Jackie. The invest in onto Fearless, heals him up a bit. Nico trying to run and will do so. Jackie looks like he'll just chase down CML. Everyone just ignoring the Morphling right now. MCY though getting a mega kill himself. Vortex going to be out onto MCY with the silence, and he is not strength morphing, but he does have Yules up. Still Jackie, chase him down, but he's going to waveform out of there. Morphing back into the Storm. And I believe that was MG.Trust that won that team fight, and yeah, it definitely was. 3 for 1, including a dieback on the Bane.
Yep, it's getting a bit tricky now for Adroit. They keep throwing their bodies forward. The blessing here is that MCY continues to live true, but with the Yules and Ultimate Orb, there's not much the Morph can do by himself, so he needs his team to back him up, although...
Mac gonna roll in, but Jackie, he has the rage. He'll be fine. Jackie's very close to that Desolator now. The Rupture's there. Jackie, no infest, trying to run. Will end up going down. While Fearless also getting caught with the roll, not on target, and they actually kill off Boomy. Fearless, however, very low on mana. Can't fight any longer. See why. Able to pick up another onto Boombell this time around.
Yeah, it's a back and forth again, this time going the way of Adroit. So they find a big kill on Jackie, they punish that Life Stealer for overextending, and they kind of set themselves up nicely. This is giving MCY space to farm up for his Scotty. Does have enough for the second Ultimate Orb. The point booster's a bit off though, so we'll see how long exactly it takes. Nico is going for a pipe straight up, does have the mech running. This is going to really hurt MG.Trust. We're talking about a lot of magic damage here, enabling the burst. You know, you have the Storm, you have this Void Spirit. With the pipe up, it's going to mitigate quite a fair bit of that damage. So MG.Trust has to be aware of that once it's up. Masteros does have his Ags up on the Void Spirit. So you do have that silence. You have additional ways of following up on MCY. And MCY is going to be got to be very disciplined with when he pops the Yules and when he's shifting through his agi or strength.
Smoke up, MG.Trust. Keep going, it seems. Can ignore the regen rune. They don't want to make it too obvious they're around. There's your Deso now, up and ready to go on to Jackie.
Oh.
And they do jump in with a great silence out from Masaros. He's got the Aghanim Scepter up. Now the Vortex is there. That'll be your Mirana already dead. And so will Mac go down on the Earth Spirit. But there is a Void Spirit being Fiend Script up. It just won't matter though. They don't have the damage. MCY could not finish him off in time. Into Nico on the Bloodseeker. Zip in. Fearless does get the Vortex off. And that'll be the fourth one to go down. And MG.Trust looking very, very good in this game number 2. They are really dominating this game. Seems like Adroit just don't really have a shot at this.
No, they were forced to go for this awkward build-up in MCY. He felt threatened with the silences. He felt the need to go Yules. What does he do with Yules Scotty? He tickles. You saw how long that Fiend Script managed to go through. You saw the focus on the right click. It just wasn't enough.
Could he not just Manta?
Yeah, he could have. He could have, right? But it,
when does morph by Yules? I don't...
I wish I could answer. I think he just wanted a very, very, very fast purge. Matt would have been a smarter play.
The problem is when you Yules like that, you give easy Aether Remnants to Masaros.
Yep. I know. I guess the Manta would have been a bit more expensive, but I don't know why MCY feels like he's forced to fight early. His team lineup is made to fight as well.
Here we go. Mac is just such a sitting duck once he rolls in. He buys back. He wants to take this team fight. They hook onto the Bane. CML in trouble, but they got Masaros. Good news. Mac. Fearless is getting pretty darn low, is very low on mana, but is just going to walk his way out as MCY going to chase him down on that Storm, and Fearless will eventually drop. This buyback is going to pay off. It seems even Jackie now out of position, has no way out of this situation. He has to fight back. The Blade Mail is there onto Mac. He's just going to roll out of there, and Jackie understands he is just guaranteed to die. So the team fight does work out. It costs them a buyback, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, 4 for 2 coming out there. This time for Adroit, keeping themselves in the game. MG.Trust overextending just a tad. Gotta watch their positioning. Gotta watch how much they commit. Gonna open up the rush here for Adroit. And you don't have your big cores for at least 40 seconds. That's enough time to maybe clear it out. They are aware with the flares, so perhaps Boombill can sneak in for a steal.
Might try. We've seen Boombill do some pretty risky stuff, and I'd say it's worthwhile for him. It's not like he's worth much gold right now. He's getting the angle. Oh, it's too early. Way too early. Boombill gonna have to walk his way out now. They are gonna lose Masaros as well on the Void Spirit. They're all just rushing in. Fearless will jump in. He does get the Aegis. Fearless gets it done. Boombill still in danger. Still, I mean, I guess it's buying space. Still running away, Fearless, or rather Boombill. Arrow is gonna land. What? Oh, Boombill.
There was a moment as well. Adroit couldn't believe it. Like, they rolled in, but Mac was short and they were all walking away for just a split second. But they sacrifice a lot. They sacrifice 2 heroes. They do steal the Aegis, and they found the kill. They got the gold from that. Fearless just on point, and it just kind of lines up. So now, they still have a 4K lead in MG.Trust. They can't go for objectives here at Droid. They're forced to kind of sit back and just redo their plans. Jackie's still top of net worth, has his Bastion now, Mike, so he can really just rip right through. Saving up for the Abyssal. The progression here for MCY is not as fast, and there is a smoke up here from MG.Trust.
MCY doesn't want to get caught out like this. Smoke will break. They know exactly where he's gone. Fearless does get that Orchid off. into the vortex. He is strength morphing, however. Jackie gonna focus in on the others. Really just wants that morph, but he's gonna be able to morph and rage away. Now Fearless just out of mana, might have to die and respawn with the Aegis. So he can't really do too much without mana. He's actually trying to die right now, I believe. He gets the vortex off and does finally go down. Fearless. Back up with full HP, full mana. 2-for-1 trade, or rather, 2 for 2 if you count the Aegis, but he did that on purpose.
Yeah, you're sort of okay with it. You only found supports there. MG.Trust, they haven't found bigger targets. They might set their eyes for more, but it's a bit tricky. MCY is just pretty darn durable now, and he is going to have a BKB. So BKB, Yules, and Scotty going to need to play for a Morphling. It's going to be hard to lock him in. You need this Abyssal up on Jackie to really come in there.
It feels so weird to see Yules morphling. It just feels so strange.
It is, but it's working. MCY, he's 8-0, Mike. See?
I mean, I can't.
See?
I can't, you know, talk badly about it. I guess he hasn't died.
It's working. He's just always bailed out, and I mean, I can't say it's fully working because they're still sort of losing map control here. They lost their top tier 2. They lost their bot tier 2 earlier on. MG.Trust still controls the majority of the map, so that's one thing they need to fix. The farm for their other course is really tapered off. Like Mac on this Earth Spirit, he's still making work happen, but he's not kind of scaling anymore in the same way as Masteros is, in the same way as Fearless is. So they're gonna have to kind of work against that. Nico is he saving up for Ags for the charges? It looks like he might be saving for Ags to get 2 ruptures off. That's gonna make it harder for Fearless and Masteros to roll around to get their initiation, but smoke up once more. MG.Trust, they want to play with the Infest.
We go. A smoke on smoke. High ground is there for Adroit. They're going to have their smoke broken. Masteros just jumps straight in through 2 of them. Fearless, who are we going for? He does take out Nico. Boombell, however, going to go down to MCY. Masteros gets caught by the Fiend's grip and will also die. And it looks like MG.Trust, they've had enough. No more, they say.
Yeah. It's patience from them. They already blew... well, no, they haven't blown their BKB on Fearless.
Turning back around, they saw MCY go the other way, so they join in now in that team fight. Masteros will buy it back, and they do get it back. Fearless going after Boomy now. Boomy has no leap charges available. Fearless not going to continue the chase, but rather will switch his attention over to MCY. He does have a double damage. Will BKB up as well, but Jackie bashes him straight away. Invis is going to keep him alive, however. Q coming in is probably going to die here on the Skyrath, but CML will also go down, or maybe not. The Nightmare is there, but no, he does go. Hook shot off the mark.
Man,
Yes.
it's just a back and forth between both sides. 3-1, but MG.Trust, they win these fights. They haven't... well, I mean, they took the top tier 2, they took the bot tier 2, but they can't transition to high ground. There's no Roche to take, so all they can really do is farm. They're getting frustrated by MCY. Like you look at the morph, he's now 10-0, 8 assists. They haven't been able to hammer him in. They're going to need to find a way to get that fixed. They are saving up for some items now. The Abyssal of Jackie that we've been talking about, it's about 700 gold off. So you're going to have that. And you've got the AoE Vortex now. Fearless is going to have a mini black hole on hand. That's going to be very important setting the tone of these fights. If Fearless finds a good jump in before the BKBs are popped, you might have enough control to really start to clean up here.
Well, Jackie, get that Abyssal up first, and they'll probably start going down towards the side of Adroit for another fight. Looks like he does have it up now. Do they have a smoke? No, they do not. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they were grouped up because they were going to smoke straight after, but they're just, I guess, not feeling very safe on the map at the moment. Perhaps,
Yeah,
perhaps not realizing that they're actually ahead right now.
it has been back and forth. Like I can't blame them for feeling like they haven't gotten as much as they want. They're also waiting out for, I guess, a couple of items that can come in. Q's Ags is 2 parts off, 1.2k gold away. So once you have that, you can play. They do infest onto Boom Belt, but there's a Moonlight Shadow here from Adroit.
Infested Boom Belt. Moonlight Shadow through the mid lane. Line is drawn out from MG.Trust. They seem to be aware of roughly where Adroit are.
An easy shot.
They got the scan. So they know.
Bottom lane is being forced in though by the creep waves. Boomy is going to TP in, but Masteros looking for an angle for the 8th, the Remnant, but Yules will be there from Boomy.
Yeah, and this is a very long time Jackie's spending inside Boom Belt. Just staying warm in the tin can. Probably should be farming instead. No, I think this is a bit too much commitment for that. And he did miss out on the sentry. It expired right while he was getting the ward, so he's forced to drop it. Still walking around as a pair. Can they find something?
MCY going to get zipped in on by Fearless. He does force out the BKB charge. That's his 9-second charge being expended. Roshan going to be a long timer here, 3 minutes. They won't be able to rush for the Roshan.
And Jackie's still in Boom Belt. No, he finally goes out.
Yep.
What is that? A minute? 2 minutes? Inside? That's a pretty long time for Jackie, but he's not affected in farm, you know? He's still up there, 19k, sorry, and 18k coming out for MCY. Again, just cautious. It's been so long. You've got an Aeon disc here for Boomy, so he's going to be safe. That should enable our Mirana to line up better shots, get some more control out in the middle of these team fights. MG.Trust, though, they have stalled long enough that we're only 800 gold away from Q's Ags. So you've got to watch out for all of the upgrades here. Just double Ancient Seals, double everything. And once you hit that level 20 talent as well, global double of concussive shots. It can be really nice for the Sky once that's up.
Adroit just playing the farm game. Little team fight inside, it seems. And if we're waiting for Q's Aghanim Scepter, you probably should let him farm it. They just...
Yeah.
And then I was about to say, what the hell's the point of it anyway? Just Skyrath Mage. It's not going to do anything. Just get going, I suppose. Boom Bill will be on the front lines with the Infest again. Looks like they have spotted out the Bane. But no, they have gotten the Morph, and that's the big one.
Oh.
That'll be MCY going down. Boom Bell of all people getting the kill streak. So
That's his first kill.
it's his first kill. It's a lot of gold. Masteros, he was left alone. He goes down. He could not kill off CML. Fearless will just zip in and gets put to sleep. CML surely goes down here, and he does. Just takes a bit of time.
Yep, but very big trade coming out for MG.Trust, breaking that stalemate, killing off the Morph. The question now is, can they find some lining up for that tier 2 mid? Still have 3 heroes here that might want to go for your defense, and Nico does have Ag, so Rupture charges are up.
They rupture him. He's going to infest and just go away with the siege creep. Just kills off the siege creep, gets the tower. Adroit, they've Moonlight Shadowed up. They're not really going to be able to do anything with it, as their Morphling is still gone for another 15 seconds.
Well, Mike, we've got it though. Ag's up in Q.
Okay.
So He did go for the level 20 Ancient Seal Magic Resist, though. So it's not Global Concussive, it is more Burst with the Ancient Seal, which is fair enough. And I think it just gives them options here to really start to lock into Morphling. You're not kind of conflicted in what to choose. You're going to have a follow-up Silence. It's going to make it harder for a to find an angle. And
Zip in, top lane, Boomy, gonna have an Aeon Disc, so he'll be alright. Arrow, nearly not gonna land onto Fearless. Not gonna TP out. Fearless is having some major mana issues as well. Just feels like he zips in once and he's just out of mana instantly. He's gonna work towards that Bloodstone. It's like the farming game has been just a little bit slower than you'd expect.
yeah,
They spent so much time posturing around each other without fighting that they just haven't been farming.
it's kind of devolved now. You've got a 10k lead here on MG.Trust. There's another smoke out from Adroit, 28 to 30. They just need to find an angle. They've got this MKB up on MCY, kind of deal with that halberd evasion. And if you can find the angle, you're looking good, but you have to worry about the Ags and Fearless. That AoE Vortex has been really making a lot of strides here in forcing out these engagements for the side of MG.Trust. We haven't seen the full effects of Nico's Ags. The double ruptures just not lining up just yet. So we'll see. They need to make that investment work. Roche is up. That's going to be the next target, although.
Masaros, hook shot just way off the mark. Boombill trying to go in with this life stealer. CML is going to get caught out. Does go down, but MCY now going to try and fight back. We'll get Boombill. Meanwhile, to the left side, Mac is in danger, but no,
Ooh.
kills off Masaros.
Huh.
That's
That
it.
was.
That's
Not. It's not the result you'd expect if you're MG.Trust.
No.
See Roche now for a droid. So they're a number up unless you buy back here in Masaros.
And I don't think you want to let this Roshan really go down like this. Fearless going to jump back in, going after the Boomy Piranha, but Clean Strip was there, cancelled off by the hook shot of Boombill. Now the Mystic Flare coming in, and Fearless still trying to bite this one out up against Mac, but they are just looking a bit too tanky. They'll get CML. Masaros is indeed going to buy back and come back in. He's going to be able to pick off Mac and go after Boomy, it looks like, as they do get the Yules off, but he gets Yules back. Won't matter though, they do have the Orchid Silence, and they will get the Mirana. Immediate buyback out from Boomy.
No, they don't want to give this Roche away. They need some numbers down. 3 heroes up. They can try to contest, but it's a bit risky. There are refills happening right now, though. Fearless is flying out his Bloodstone, and Q is forced all the way back to Zeus, empty and mana. Not quite the full force here for MG.Trust, but Jackie can really start to rip through. They aren't going to let this go for free, though.
That's your Roshan going down. No kind of counterplay. Fearless. Hatch out the Bloodseeker with a great hook shot out from Boombill, and they are going to be able to take him out. You kind of wonder what the point of the buyback from the Mirana was. If they weren't going to contest Roshan. Was that just a
I'm not
rage
sure.
buyback?
Maybe to shove out the side lanes, but it is looking like more rage, perhaps. They are going to have at least 3 heroes for 4 heroes for the high ground defense. There's a buyback in the Bloodseeker. Aegis is up on our Jackie, of course, and they have the cheese up in Fearless. So they have a lot of options here, and we're just going to start ripping through.
Fearless jumps in, great Vortex out, but a nice Nightmare save, sort of, onto Mac. He's still going to die, it looks like. Jackie will just focus him down and does take him out. CML trying to get a Fiend Strip off onto the Lifestealer and does get one. That'll be the Aegis going down. Now MCY going to try and fight back up against Fearless, but he's going to zip away. They have caught out Jackie, however, but a massive Vortex out. It just doesn't really matter.
Oh, Boombo.
Where's Masaros?
Blood pushing bot.
Why?
Because he wants to You know what that reminds me of? Just a bit, Mike.
What's that,
Just a
John?
bit. Reminds me of. Do you remember? Well, it's super old now, but do you remember the old when did EG throw? The last play there was like it was like Jimmy on the opposite side of the map.
Oh, that's a big vortex into the Mystic
Oh.
Bless MCY. All right, the Agate Scepter Skyrath Mage works, John. It
Yep.
worked. Masteros going to catch out the Bloodseeker with an Aether Remnant. Q could be in a spot of danger now, but Fearless, another great vortex out, catching two. Masteros with the Dissimulate. Max still BKB Pop going to make a chase, but now the Ruptures are coming out. Mac really wants that Skyrath, does pick him out. Masteros getting very, very low now. Does die, and even Fearless trying to zip around.
This is a bad spot for MG.Trust, Mike.
They
No
have no
buyback on the
buybacks.
Sky. Yep, no buyback on Masteros.
Do Adroit
They're gonna
realize
lose at
this?
least.
Do they I don't think they realize.
Wow. It's, yeah, no.
Oh boy.
That is not the right play. MG.Trust, they must be laughing. They must be laughing. It's just 3 heroes for the potential high ground, but they don't have MCY. They must not want to buy back, so MG.Trust get to hang on there.
What? I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of fair enough because Fearless and Jackie might actually be able to take them. You don't have MCY around on the Morphling yet, but
Oh boy.
yeah, speaking of Jackie and Fearless, they do kill off Mac. Jackie just rage TPs out.
Yeah, nah. Now it's really dicey for Adroit. Like, they take a tier 2, they don't transition to anything bigger. The respawns are gonna tick in. You don't have Mac. MG.Trust now 14k lead, 35 to 38, and looking at DOTA Plus, it's bounced around a bit, but still 67% the way of MG.Trust. You can see that swing. Used to be a bit higher, but it's been back and forth. Adroit now, it's really hanging on MCY. If he gets picked off again, you're not going to have angles anymore.
Fearless. Smoke up. Nico. Zip is gonna be there. They do go straight up the Bloodseeker, it seems. Arrow will be taken by Jackie, but he had the range. It'll be Nico gone. MCY gonna try and fight back here. They do go after Boom Bell, but Masteros just cleans up CML. Boomy being slowed up. Sansa's coming out onto MCY, but he's gonna waveform away.
It's a big set of kills. You don't have the Bloodseeker for 90. You will be able to start piercing through the high ground, and Jackie does a lot of damage, so we might be able to get at least one tier 3. I don't know about Arax, considering how hard they've made it here, and you've got so much sustain on MCY. He's got Satanic up as well. He can just kind of man fight with no issue here.
Masteros is having a look, trying to see if he can pick someone off. Let's have that Aether Remnant build again, by the way.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Master is just going in and out, and they will find Arax.
Yeah, they do, but now Jackie gonna get jumped on. Still a great zip in. Fearless, he got another big vortex off. Jackie is falling pretty low, however, and does die. He will buy back, TP back down to the outpost. He never got the infest off. MCY, Fiend's Grip is gonna be there. Fearless, that is a big pick off to get, and they do get him. He can buy back, and he does. He's gonna make his way back over to the outpost. They want to finish this game right here, right now, and there's no buybacks left. But can they deal with MCY? He is completely strength morphed with 6.5k XP, or HP rather, and there's the Mystic Flares being dropped with the Vortex. This game should be over. So
Yeah,
it's just
it's way too
MCY.
long. Yeah, it's him against the world. He does last. What? Mike, you seen that?
What?
Blink, fearless, fearless, blink, blink,
What?
blink, storm, storm,
What?
blink, blink, storm. Yep. He's flying it out.
Jackie gonna go after MCY. Fearless. Blink Storm. Jackie still fighting. Vortex back out onto your Morphling. MCY now falling very, very low. And they do stun him up. MCY just tanking the damage. Why is there a Blink Dagger on Fearless? What's happening?
He runs out of mana. He wants to he wants to move without mana, I guess.
Oh boy.
Mike, you know, I've seen Refresh Storm, Mike.
Oh,
So, I've seen it all now. I've seen it all.
yeah, we really have, John. Ancient under siege. No GG call being made here by Adroit. They're going to find it out to the last second. And oh, there's your game over.
Boy, Adroit trying to hold out as long as possible. MCY really holding on till the end, but MG.Trust do come out on top. Spectacular performance. A lot of patience throughout the series. You know, they wait out, they don't rush. They try to play the safe game. It pays off in the end. And I guess
What?
I guess Fearless gets to say he ended with a Blink Dagger and Storm in a professional game.
He did. He never really got to use it, but he definitely did. Congratulations to him. I can kind of see why his recalibration didn't work out, John. If he's buying Blink Daggers on Storms. Anyway, that's going to be it for tonight. Of course, we are back for some more Monster Energy Summit 13 tomorrow. We actually have 3 best of 2s instead of 4 best of 2s tomorrow. So a bit of a shorter day, but John, everyone has been asking where Among Us is. They are on tomorrow. So
Oh yeah.
first series of the day, Among Us will be on up against Army G, which is Army Geniuses. Of course, we'll be back for that, John. But for tonight, that'll be it. It is MLP Dota and John X Fire. We'll see you guys all again tomorrow for some more great SEA Dota. We'll see you then.